Hello everyone, I'm Chunhao and I'm back with a new video this time. Okay, this video I will do a maths paper. Alright, so this video is the Kelantan trial, and it's the trial 2025 that just finished recently during August, and this is the paper 2. I already did the paper 1 lah, okay? And as you can see, I have the Penang paper open just in case because I noticed there's a lot of similarity between the Kelantan paper 2 and the Penang trial paper 2. So later when I notice questions that are similar, I will go open this and let you see how similar it is, right? Okay, so I will start now. Okay, let's start with question bahagian A, question 1. All right, question number 1. In the expression negative 5p q power 3, state the coefficient of negative p. Okay, so the coefficient for negative p, it means you will cover the negative and the p, and you see siapa yang darab dengan negative p. So it will be 5q cubed. So that is the answer. Okay, so coefficient in bahasa Melayu is called perkali. What is perkali? It means benda yang kali dia. So if I said perkali bagi negative p, it means siapa yang kali negative p, siapa yang darab negative p. So if you look at this, negative times 5 times p times q times q power 3. So the kali for negative p will be 5q power 3 lah. So perkali means you tengok siapa darab dia. So perkali bagi negative p will be siapa yang darab negative p, which is 5q power 3. That's the coefficient, right? Yeah, this one nothing much to explain. That's all. Alright, number B pula. Figure 1 shows a rectangle PQRS. Okay, rectangle. Given the length of rectangle is twice its width. So length is the panjang SR, and it will be twice its width. So let's find out the width, the length now. So 2 times with the width, 2a plus b, right? Even though I haven't read what the question says here, but it's okay, we just find it now. Okay, dia dah bagi macam ni, kita cari terus panjang dia. So it will be 4a plus 2b, and automatic will be in cm. Because this one also in cm so when you darab dua, automatic dekat cm also lah. And guess what? The atas bawah will be sama panjang. Because rectangle, atas bawah mesti sama, and then kiri kanan pun sama panjang. Alright, now let's see what they want. Express the perimeter of rectangle in terms of A and B. Alamak, ini senang lah. So how do you find perimeter? Just ambil semua sisi, tambah semua. Right? Take all the sides and then tambah semua. But they said in terms of A and B, it means your answer would be, you will have A and B later. Okay? That means you don't have to find the AB lah. You can leave the AB there. Okay? So now let's find out the perimeter. So I will just write perimeter equals, all right, so we will take 4a plus 2b plus 4a plus 2b, which is 2 times 4a plus 2b, and then plus with 2a plus b plus 2a plus b, but you can also write it as 2 times 2a plus b, right? So 2 times 4a is 8a, 2 times 2b is 4b. Same here, just expand. 2 times 2a is 4a, 2 times b is 2b. Kembangkan dia lah. Alright, 8A plus A dengan A boleh buat, B dengan B boleh buat. So 8 plus 4 is 12A, 4B plus 2B is 6B. And don't forget to write unit in cm. So I will write a bracket like this. So that is the perimeter of rectangle in terms of AB. Alright, sudah siap. Number 2, state the inverse and contrapositive of the following statement. Okay, let's just talk about what chapter first. So what chapter is this? Form 4, chapter 3. In English, logical reasoning. Dalam bahasa Melayu, penakkulan logik. Okay, for soalan yang suruh tulis inverse contrapositive, you kena hafal. You have to memorize the formula. So I'm gonna write the formula here. So for converse, the formula is if Q then P. Okay. For inverse, the formula is if not P then not Q. Okay. Okay, you see this wave symbol? Simbol ni, apa maksud simbol ni? Simbol ni means you kena buat negation, you kena buat penafian. You have to do the, how to say, change the truth value. So what's the meaning of this? If not P, then not Q. And then for contrapositive, if not Q, then not P. If not Q, then not P. But usually the soalan will give you the implication. Okay, and the implication format will be if P then Q lah. If P then Q. And your job is straight away tentukan you punya P and Q, and straight away underline it if the soalan give you. And after that, if they want converse, you take the PQ and you flip, you tukar tempat. And then kalau dia nak inverse, jangan tukar tempat, just do negation for P and Q. And then kalau contrapositive, tukar tempat and do negation. Because it's if not Q then not P. So all of this you need to make sure you know. Uh, if you're facing SPM this year, ini semua sangat penting lah. Alright, so let's come back to the question. State the inverse and contrapositive of the following statement. So this is the original implication. So we have to underline siapa P, siapa Q dulu. Right? So let's underline it. This is my P. Okay? And then this is my Q. Okay? Okay, now I already tentukan siapa P, siapa Q. Now I can try to write the inverse and contrapositive. Okay, let me make some space here. All right. Okay, so for my inverse, so the A working, I do it here. So for my inverse, I'll write it here. And for my contrapositive, I will write it here. Okay, inverse, the formula is if not P, then not Q. So second tulis apa? If, and then I have to do negation P. So what is P? X plus 3 bigger than 9. So kita kena buat negation. But this one, X plus 3 bigger 9, it's a mathematic sentence. What do I mean by mathematic sentence? Because it's written using the mathematic symbol. It's not written like in words, right? If I say, uh, if I say like for example, Ali is boy, this is an English sentence. So when you do negation, you can just put Ali is not boy. Macam tu. But if it's a mathematical sentence, you have to use the mathematic symbol. For to do the negation. Because takkanlah you buat kataan not dekat sini. Takkanlah you buat X plus 3 not and then yeah, it's very weird because these are all symbol. Why suddenly got an English word here, right? Okay, so the way to do it is you kena tahu lah what is the opposite symbol for bigger, right? And the opposite symbol for that is smaller equals when you do negation. So dia akan jadi if X plus 3 bigger 9 becomes smaller equals 9. And then do the negation Q. Okay, bigger 5 dia akan jadi apa? Smaller equals 5. Okay, maybe some student will ask, sir, I thought bigger bukan lawan dia smaller ke? Because a lot of people think like that, right? So bigger, besar, lawan dia apa? Kecil. So you might thought like bigger is smaller. Kenapa ada line sini? Okay, actually ada line. Yeah, because if I say bigger than 5, what's the meaning when you do negation is everything except, okay, what is bigger than 5? 6, 7, 8, 9, and then it keeps going, right? So if I want the lawan, if I want the lawan, it means if I want the opposite of this, it will be 5 and less than 5. That is why 5 is included. That is why 5 is included. That's why I have to put line. Macam tu Alright, let's do the contrapositive pula. If not Q, then not P. So if not Q, so your Q is X bigger than 5, but you have to do negation because that's the formula for contrapositive. So they can jadi X smaller equals 5, then X plus 3 smaller equals 9. Right? Yeah, it's very straightforward if you know the format, if you know the all these formulas. Yeah, it's very easy actually. Okay, let's check whether they got asked to write the truth value. Okay, for this question, no. Yeah, the reason why you have to check, because sometimes the soalan will ask you to write the truth value. Dia akan suruh tulis nilai kebenaran, means you have to write true or false for the inverse and contrapositive. And if they ask to do that, then you have to think a bit lah. You have to think a bit. You have to ask yourself, is this true? Is this true? Is this true, false? Right? And if both is false, you have to write true. If both is true, you also have to write true. The only time you will write false for implication format is when this one is true, this one is false. Then only the whole thing becomes false. Okay. Okay. But anyways, they never asked for that in this question, so I don't want to go into details. That one, but that one kena tahu also lah. So I just mentioned a bit like that. Okay. Hope you get it. Now I will continue. Alright, for B says diagram 2 shows the arrangement of pentagons that follows a certain sequence. Pentagon? No, this is not pentagon. Pentagon has 5 sides. Is this 5 side? No, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is hexagon. So I think they made a mistake here. Hexagon baru betul. So they say this diagram shows arrangement of hexagon that follows a certain sequence. So you have 3 hexagon here, and then 1, 2, 3, 5 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 hexagon here. So this is the first pattern, the second pattern, the third pattern. Okay. Alright, now what? I mean arrangement. First arrangement, second arrangement, third arrangement. I go and say first pattern just now, sorry. So first arrangement, 3 hexagon. Second arrangement, 5 hexagon. Third arrangement, 7 hexagon. Okay, number 1, make a general conclusion by induction for the n terms. Okay, for induction question, they always ask about this, to ask you to write the conclusion. But what does it mean by conclusion? Means they want you to write a formula. Yeah, you need to generalize and write down the formula. Yeah, you have to generalize this, right? So you have the first number being 3, the second number 5, 7, right? So if you want to make a formula out of this, you need to make sure you recognize the pattern lah. You need to see what's the pattern here. So how I will write it? Let's say so 3 equals 5 equals 7, right? But you need to see the connection. When the n is 1, there's 3 hexagon. When the n is 2, there's 5. When the n is 3, the hexagon is 7. So you have to see the connection between the n and the number of hexagon. Yeah, to find out to generalize, right? And actually it's quite simple because this one, 2, 3, right? And you can see the number of hexagon is actually the n plus 2. Wait, is it? 1 plus 2 is 3. Oh, it's not plus 2, because 2 plus 2 is not 5, right? So I don't think the relationship here is plus 2. So what's the relationship between the n, the number of arrangement, and the number of hexagon? Let me think. Okay, I have to times 2 plus 1. Times 2 plus 1. Yeah, because 1 times 2 is 2, but to get 3, I have to plus 1, right? So the relationship between the arrangement, number of arrangement, and the number of hexagon is times 2 plus 1. And if you don't believe me, try with this. 2 times 2, 4 plus 1 is 5. Same with this. 3 times 2, 6 plus 1, 7. So the connection ataupun the relationship between the number of arrangement and also the number of hexagon is times 2 plus 1. So what I will write here, 3 comes from 2 times with 1 plus 1. 5 comes from 2 times 2 plus 1. This one comes from 2 times 3 plus 1. Okay, and then to get the formula for the n terms, that would be what? 2n plus 1 lah. Faham kan? So when we generalize this, when we generalize and we want to form a formula, make a conclusion, this is the conclusion, 2n plus 1. Okay, so when we make conclusion, usually benda yang tak tukar, we tak tukar also. So the 2 times 2 times 2 times yang ni tak berubah. So when we generalize, dia akan ada dekat situ jugalah. And then the n will be the 1, 2, 3. Okay, okay, so I will okay, I have to write this dot and then comma, n equals 1, comma 2, comma 3, dot 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 dot. Okay. Oh, one more thing is very important. When you're doing this type of question, yang suruh apa make conclusion by induction punya, you have to make sure your n is always what? 1, 2, 3 or 0, 1, 2, 3. It cannot be 2, 4, 6 or 3, 5, 7. Cannot. It can only be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Maksudnya dia kena berturutan. It has to be consecutive. Like when n equals 1, 2, 3, it cannot be, the number cannot skip. It definitely cannot be 3, 5, 7. If can 3, 5, 7, then you can just write a single n only and then 3, 5, 7. That doesn't make any sense, right? The n has to always be 1, 2, 3 or 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay. For this case, you'll be 1, 2, 3 lah. Okay. Yeah. So make sure you know that. Okay. Number 2. Hence determine the number of pentagons at the 30th sequence. So this is the first sequence, second sequence, third sequence. So by the time it reach 30th, how many hexagon you have? Okay. You can just use this formula, right? So 2n plus 1 becomes 2 times 30 plus 1, because n is for which arrangement, right? You just sub, if the n is 1, 2 times 1 plus 1 you give you 3. When the n is 2, 2 times 2 plus 1 will give you 5. So when n is 30, 2 times 30 plus 1 is 61. Okay, so that is the answer. Determine the number of pentagons. Yeah, 61. That's the answer. Okay, it's only worth 1 mark. All right. Okay, so that's all. All right, all this I do already. Okay, done. Okay, number 3. What chapter is this? Okay, I see a 3D shape. Actually, I see 2 3D shape. One hemisphere and what looks like a prism. Okay, so I think this is a lower form chapter and it's the under 3D punya topic. Okay, I think it's form 2, but I don't remember which bab is this, but it's definitely the chapter you learn in form 2 or form 3, the one you learn about the volume, surface area, isi padu, apa, luas permukaan, semua tu lah. Alright, let's go. Diagram 3 shows an object shaped like a hemisphere. Alright, so what is hemisphere? It's a sphere cut in half. So a sphere looks like this, but when you cut half, you get hemisphere. Okay, and a right prism. Yeah, this is a prism. Okay, for prism, the cross section area of this prism is a trapezium. Yeah, trapezium. Okay, now what? The total volume of 2 hemisphere is the same as right prism. Calculate the value of P. So I see the keyword here is volume lah. So kita kena tahu volume punya formula for these 2 shape. So let's write down the volume formula for this and the volume formula for this. Okay, for the volume of hemisphere, how to find it? It will be volume of sphere divided by 2 lah. Okay, so volume of sphere. Okay, I'll write volume of sphere first. Okay, so the volume of sphere is 4/3 pi r kuasa 3. 4/3 pi r cube. Or in BM, you learn is 4/3 pi j kuasa 3. And the rj is the radius. But the radius is not 21, guys. 21 is the diameter. Radius will be half the diameter. So you have to take 21 divided 2, which is 10.5 cm. Okay, so later it will be very easy to find the volume of sphere. Okay, now let's talk about the volume of this prism. Okay, for volume of prism, you have to take the cross section area. Okay, the cross section area times with the height, or you can say the width or whatever. So I'll just call it height. Okay, what is cross section? Okay, cross section is dalam satu prism. The cross section will be the shape that appear 2 times. Yeah, the shape that appear 2 times, and both times is same size. So as you can see, the cross section is this trapezium and this trapezium, because these two trapezium appears 2 times in this 3D shape and they are same size, right? Okay, why you cannot tell me this is the cross section? Kenapa tak boleh cakap ini cross section? Because if this one, if you look at the bawah one, the bawah rectangle is bigger. Yang bawah punya rectangle lagi besar compared to this. Okay, but I told you cross section has to be same size, right? Same size. So the same size shape is this and this. So that is the cross section. So later, to find the cross section area, you have to find the area of this trapezium times with the height, and the height will be P. Okay, the height will be P. Okay, now we already know the formula. Now it's time to suck all the value inside lah. Okay, dia kata siapa punya volume sama tadi? Volume of two hemisphere is the same as right prism. Okay, so volume of sphere is 4/3 pi r cube. So I'll just do 4/3 pi times r cube, right? Okay, pi dia kata guna 22/7. So why not we just sub the 22/7, and then radius is 10.5 cube, right? Okay, but they say two hemisphere, right? Okay, sebenarnya tak payah. Sebab two hemisphere, it means you dapat satu sphere lah. So that's why you just use the volume of sphere formula, cukup ni. Yang ni tak payah darab 2 dah. No need to times 2 or divide 2. Because this is already the volume of two hemisphere. Yeah, because this is the formula for volume sphere ma. So when you do this, it's already for two hemisphere combined. Okay, now for the other side, equal to what? It's the same as the volume of right prism. Calculate the value of P. So the volume of right prism, we already know the formula. Take the cross section area times height. Okay, the height we already know is P. Okay, yeah. The height is actually the distance between the two cross section lah. Okay, now for this part, I have to do what? I have to find the cross section area, which is the area of trapezium. Okay, area of trapezium formula is 1/2 times sum of parallel lines, and then times with the perpendicular distance between the two lines. So the two parallel lines will be, the atas bawah will be 16 plus 26, and then the perpendicular distance between the two lines is 12. Okay, perpendicular distance means the jarak yang 90 degree between the two parallel sides, right? Okay, after you calculate this, you get the area of trapezium, and you multiply with P, you get the volume of the whole prism. Okay, 16 plus 26, press calculator, 42, divide 2 times 12, 252. So the volume here is 252 P. Now what about here? 4/3 times 22/7 times 10.5/3, you get 4851. And then now for P, just tekan ini bahagi ini. So you dapat 77/4. Okay, you can write in decimal also, 19.25. Okay, everything is in cm, right? So this one will come out in cm also. Okay, so itulah jawapan dia. Sudah siap? Okay, number 4, what chapter? Number cards Venn diagram. Okay, from 4, chapter 4. Okay, it's called operation and set. The set punya chapter. Okay, teacher Rin has number of cards that will be given to all the members of the robotics club. Okay, this is not important. Table 1 shows information about the number cards received by the members of the robotics club. Alright, so robotic club member Elina, dia punya number accepted, prime number less than 15. Okay, let's just senaraikan all the prime number less than 15. 2, 3, 4 bukan, 5, yes, 6, no, because can divide 2, 7, yeah, 8, no, because can divide 2, 9, no, can divide 3, 10, can divide 2, 11, yes, and then 13, 14 cannot because it's even number, 15, no, because they say less than 15, so inilah prime number. Okay, so these are all the cards yang Elina dapat. Remember, one is not prime number. Guys, you are facing SPM in like 2 months' time. So don't, you need to know this. Prime number, kena tahu. One is not prime number. Because one only has one factor. Prime number dia kena ada dua factor. Eh, uh, Prime numbers will have two factors. Prime numbers can only divide by dia sendiri and divide by one. Okay, so one is not prime number. Okay, what about the Hazika? Dia punya card dapat is multiple of 6 less than 20. Multiple is gandaan, so it will be 6, 12, 6 times 3, 18. 6 times 4 is 24, so that cannot ambil because they say less than 20. So sudah siap lah. Zuhaira, factors of 12. Okay, for when we write factors, we will do it like this: 12, and then we think about what number darab what number dapat 12. So what number times what number gives you 12? 1 times 12, 2 times 6, 3 times 4, 4 times 3. Okay, but 3 times 4, 4 times 3 is the same, so that's all lah. So these are all the factors of 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12. Okay, can I write all of it? The answer is yes. Yes, you can write all of it. Because this question, there's no universal set. For soalan set yang ada bagi universal, you kena be careful because if the, let's say this question has universal set, it means you have to make sure all these numbers kena ada dalam universal baru boleh tulis. Okay, tapi soalan ni tak ada universal set, dia tak bagi set semesta. So kalau tak ada universal set, tak ada bagi ni, means you will just write all of it. Yeah, just write according to the description. If they say factors of 12, means you write all the factors of 12. If they say multiple of 6 less than 20, means you write all the multiple of 6 less than 20. You don't have to check with the universal because there's no universal. Okay, now A. Complete the Venn diagram in the answer space to show the relationship between three cards they receive with the universal set E union H union Z, 2 marks. So A, saya kena buat ini Venn diagram lah, kena label dia punya element. Okay, imagine if I don't do this. Tell me, if I tak buat step ini, boleh tak saya buat itu Venn diagram? Mesti tak boleh, betul? So remember, in exam, if they give you the description, this is called a description, always tukar jadi set notation. Set notation means you list down all the elements one by one like this. You senaraikan. Kalau dia bagi set description, deskripsi, you senaraikan dia jadi satu-satu elemen macam tu. Okay? Even if the question never ask, soalan tak suruh pun you buat. You tak buat, sebab you tak buat, then you cannot do whatever they want you to do later. Okay, now it's time to label. Alright, they already tell us the relationship between the three set will be like this, right? So, if there's three set and there's ada overlap, tiga-tiga pun ada elemen yang tiga-tiga set ni ada, then we will draw it like this. Draw it like this because if ada elemen yang tiga-tiga orang ni ada, tiga-tiga pun ada, that means we have to make sure tiga-tiga kena overlap. Tapi ini tak ada lah. How I know tak ada? Because they already draw for me. So, let's focus on this and this. Let's focus on the overlap region. So, ini separate overlap. Elina and I forgot the name, but yeah, this one is the E and Z overlap. So, saya akan pergi EZ, cari elemen yang sama for EZ. So, I will bulat using that color. So, for E and Z, so 2, 2, 3, 3, 5 tak ada, 7 tak ada, 11 tak ada, 13 tak ada. Okay, so 2 and 3 will be the overlap between EZ. So, EZ, dia punya intersection adalah 2 and 3. And remember, have to put the dot. Yeah, because if you don't put the dot, then it becomes number of element. Kalau you tak letak dot, dia akan jadi bilangan element, then salah di. Yeah, you have to put the dot. The dot means it's the element. Kalau tak ada dot, it becomes number of element. Okay, now let's focus on the overlap between Z and H. Right? So whenever you label the Venn diagram, always start with the overlap region. Okay? Yeah, it's better. Because if you start from outside, then later you realize, oh, you write 2 times, then you have to erase and then do again. Yeah, not good. Okay, overlap for Z and H. Hazika and Zuhaira. What's the overlap? Okay, let's use another color to bulatkan Z and H. So 6, 6. And then 12, 12. That's all. Right? Okay, so 6 and 12. Tulis dekat overlaps ini 6 dot 12 dot. Right? And there is no overlap between E and H. E dengan H, dia tak ada overlap. Maksudnya E and H tak ada elemen yang sama. And if you double check E and H, memang betul tak ada satu pun elemen yang E, H dua-dua ada. Sebab tu lah kita tak lukis kita punya Venn diagram macam ni. Right? Yeah. But this question they actually already draw out Venn diagram for you lah. So you just have to label masuk saja. Okay, now it's time to label this. Okay, this is the region for what? Ini kawasan untuk apa? Kawasan untuk E only. E only. So what's E only? 5, 7, 11, 13. 2 and 3 is not for E only. 2 and 3 is sudah tulis. Okay. So everything except 2, 3 will be 5, 7, 11, 13. Okay, and you have to put dot also lah. 5, 7, 11, 13. So for E only, it will be this. Okay. Now for the next step, let's look at H only. 6, 12, 18. But the 6, 12 no need to write already. Because 6, 12 is written here already. So for H only, it will be 18. And then for this part, it will be the Z only. So which element only Z only Z has 1 and 4 lah. The 2, 3, 6, 12 is already right. I already tulis inside Z already. So for Z only is only 1 and 4. Okay, saya sudah siap part A ini. So complete the Venn diagram. Inilah depan dia. Okay. Alright, now B1. On the same diagram, shade bracket H union Z bracket complement intersect E. So I need to shade. So do they mean shade it here? Okay, so I guess they want me to shade it here lah. Okay, let's do it. Alright, so macam mana nak shade? First, kita kena tahu kawasan ni dekat mana dulu. So how to know this kawasan? Very easy. So kalau dia ada bracket means kita kena buat bracket dulu and look at the complement. This symbol is called complement dalam bahasa Melayu pelengkap. Okay, if the complement symbol is outside the bracket, it means you have to do union dulu baru buat complement. Okay. Tapi kalau dia macam ni, H union Z complement, then it means you kena buat Z complement dulu baru gabung dengan H. Ya, sebab union kan, union means gabung. Okay, tapi sekarang you punya complement outside bracket, so yang complement tu buat nantilah, kena buat H union Z. H union Z maksudnya H dengan Z gabung semua. H and Z gabung everything. So what is H and Z gabung semua? H is 6, 12, 18. Z is 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12. So when you do H union Z, this is the answer. Okay. Tapi dia kata bracket H union Z complement. That means you kena ambil everything except this. So when you take everything except this, your answer will left with 5, 7, 11, 13. Okay. So tell me what is the answer for this? 5, 7, 11, 13. Because H union Z is here, and then the bracket complement becomes 5, 7, 11, 13. But belum siap lagi, kena buat lagi intersect E kan. Okay, E punya elemen kita boleh tengok dari sini, it will be 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13. Right? 5, 7, or kalau nak tengok atas pun boleh kan, sama je. 2, 3, 5, 7, sama lah. Okay. And then now we do the intersection. Okay, intersection means what? Okay, kalau union, you gabung semua. You gabung dua-dua. Tapi kalau intersect, you jangan gabung. Intersect, you ambil yang dua-dua ada saja. Ataupun you ambil yang apa? Overlap. So 5, 7, 11, 13, 2, 3, 5, 7, 10, siapa overlap? Siapa yang, which element both of these have? So you can bulatkan 5, 5, 7, 7, 11, 11, 13, 13. It means your answer will be at the 5, 7, 11, 13. So ini jawapan dia. So sekarang kita boleh lorek. This is how you shade region. Just draw lines. And that is the answer. Okay, you can use ruler to help you. Boleh guna pembaris. Okay, sudah siap. Ini jawapan dia. Right? So let me explain one more time. This 5, 7, 11, 13 is the answer for here. Sebab dia ada bracket mah. So kita kena buat bracket dulu lah. And after finding out the answer for here, we have to intersect dengan E lagi. So I write down the set E element here and then find out the intersection lah. Find out the persilangan. The overlap region. So the overlap region for between this and E will be here lah. Alright, now let's do second question. List the elements for E union H intersect Z complement. Look at where's the complement. Is it outside the bracket or inside the bracket? Outside the bracket again. That means you have to do the complement last kali baru buat. So let's do E union H intersect Z dulu. Let's do this first. Okay, dia ada dua operation dalam ni. So kita kena buat yang kiri dulu. So kita kena buat E union H dulu. And we all know what's the answer for E union H. Because E union H, just take all your E element and all your H and just gabung lah. Because union means kesatuan, means you gabung semua elemen E and semua elemen H. So dia akan jadi 2, 3 E and H, right? So 2, 3, 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 11, 12, 13, 18. Of course, you nak tengok atas pun boleh. E is this one, H is this one. So you gabung semua ada apa? 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 11. 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 11. Ya. 12, 13, 18. Ya, betul lah. Okay. Okay, tapi ini bukan final answer. This is just the answer for E union H. Now I have to do intersect with Z. So I will put the intersect symbol here. So this is the answer for E union H. Now I have to do intersect Z pula. Okay, Z is 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12. Nak tengok atas pun boleh, sama saja. Tengok Z, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12. Sama je. It's the same. Now do the intersection. But sir, what about the complement? Saya sudah cakap, complement last kali baru tengok. You jangan tengok sekarang. Kalau you tengok sekarang, salah. The complement is outside the bracket, so jangan tengok sekarang. Sekarang kita kena buat E union H intersect Z dulu. Okay, E union H sudah buat. Sekarang ambil yang ni intersect Z. Intersect means ambil yang overlap. Ambil yang dua-dua set ni ada. So apa yang dua-dua ada, kita check lah. 2, 3. Ya, 2, 3. Siapa yang dua-dua ada? 4 tak ada. 6, yes. 12 also yes. So inilah jawapan untuk E union H intersect Z. That's the answer. 2, 3, 6, 12. Sekarang baru kita tengok itu complement. Okay, so the bracket E union H intersect Z tutup bracket complement equals. Okay, sekarang kita boleh list out the element for this. So, kalau dia nak bracket complement means what? It means tamau 2, 3, 6, 12. Because E union H intersect Z is 2, 3, 6, 12. Tapi sekarang dia nak complement of this. Complement of this. So, complement of this will be everything except 2, 3, 6, 12 lah. So, everything except 2, 3 except 6, 12. Okay, so we can just look at the arrow diagram. Kita boleh nampak ambil semua kecuali 2, 3, 6, 12. So it will be 1, followed by 4, followed by 5, 7, 11, 13. And then the last one will be 18. Except 2, 3, 6, 12, right? So, and then put curly bracket. Okay, you know why I have to put curly bracket? Because these are elements. These are elements. That's why I have to put curly bracket. Kalau untuk number of element, itu tak payah letak curly bracket. That one you just count got how many element, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then just write that. And then that one no need curly bracket. Ya, untuk bilangan elemen tak payah curly bracket. Tapi kalau senaraikan elemen kenalah. Okay, so that's the answer. Hope you get it. Hope you understand. So how many marks? 2 marks, 2 marks, 4 marks. Alright, that's all. Okay, now I'm at question 5. What chapter? Total number at most. Okay, I see at most. I see greater. Okay, I know already. This one is Form 4, chapter 6. What chapter is this? It's called the linear inequalities in two variables. Dalam bahasa Melayu, ketaksamaan. Okay, in this chapter, you have to use the symbol bigger, smaller, bigger sama dengan, smaller sama dengan, yang itulah. Okay, let's read. One weekend, Rasuli helped his mother sell food at their family bakery. I don't care. He sold X pieces of French sandwich and Y pieces of Latin sandwich. Table 2 shows the information about his sales on Saturday. Okay, whenever I teach my own student to do this chapter, I always tell them, first, we need to know what the XY represents first. Because if you don't know what XY represents, it's very hard to write the inequality later. And now they actually already tell you X represents the pieces of French sandwich. And I will tell my student to do the arrow. Okay, so French arrow X, Latin arrow Y. And the XY represents pieces. So I will put a hashtag symbol here. Hashtag means bilangan lah. So now you know what the XY represents. It represents pieces. It means like how many pieces. Okay, so now you know XY represents. What XY represents is very easy to write the inequality. Okay, and I'm sure the question will ask me to write later, even though I haven't baca bawah lah. But if I scroll down, I will know already. You see, write inequality. So actually, we don't have to care about what the question says. We just write it now. Okay, the total number of French and Latin sold is greater than 40 pieces. So sekarang cerita pasal pieces, and the XY also represents number of pieces. So boleh buat French pieces is X, but they want the total number of French and Latin, so X plus Y lah. Greater, so symbol dia besar, 40. This is the symbol for greater. Tak ada line, tak ada line, no line. Greater tak ada line. Okay, next one. Number of French is at most 35. Okay, it's only talking about French, and the French is X. So the X is at most. At most, dia punya symbol is kurang atau sama dengan. In English, smaller or equals. Yeah, at most. Okay. Alright, next one. The maximum. Okay, what's the symbol for maximum? Kurang sama dengan also. Because if I say maximum means cannot more than that. That's the upper limit. So if that's the upper limit means it has to be smaller or equals. Alright. the highest limit of Latin sandwich sold is 40 piece. Latin is Y. So Y, but the highest limit is 40. So have to be smaller or equals 40. Because that's the maximum lah. That's the highest limit. Okay. Alright. That's the 3 inequality. But I don't understand why they say write 2 inequality to represent information 1 and 2. So I guess they only want you to write this and this lah. So what you do? Just present the answer for them lah. X plus Y 40 and then this one. Okay. Not sure why they never ask us to write for the number 3, but I'm sure they will ask later. Okay, let's see B. Hence, complete the graph to represent the linear inequality in the answer space and shade the region that satisfy the system of linear inequality. So I'm sure if I scroll down, there will be a graph paper, and we just need to draw the 3 lines and then lorek atas, lorek bawah, find out the kawasan yang tiga-tiga overlap, right? Okay, so let's scroll down. Oh, they actually didn't give me the graph paper. They give me the square grid. Okay lah, then use square grid lah. Okay, I actually understand already why they. Okay, it's weird, why they ask 2? They should ask for 3 linear inequality, right? Yeah, I know they already draw 2 lines for me, but still, why not they ask us to draw, how to say, to write 3 inequality? Yeah, it's very weird. Okay, but it's okay lah, since they asked like that, so I just follow the instruction. That's why I don't write 2. But there's actually one more. The Y smaller equals 40, right? Okay, but whatever lah. Okay, let's continue here. Complete the graph to represent the linear inequality in the answer space and shade the region. So you can see they already draw 2 lines for you. Okay, these 2 lines, you can see one line here. This line is the horizontal line, and it cuts the y-axis at 40. So this one is the equation will be y equals 40, and this is a vertical line that cuts the x-axis at 35. So this one is x equals 35. Okay, yeah. So for equation yang ada satu unknown sahaja, ada x only ataupun ada y only, it will be for x only it will be a vertical line, and then for y only it will be a horizontal line. Then what about equation yang ada x and y? Okay, this one will be a sengit line. It will be a sengit line. So the x equals 35 and y equals 40, they already draw for me. Ni dia sudah lukis siap-siap. So there's one more line we need to draw ourselves, x plus y equals 40. So what I will do, jangan tengok simbol bigger smaller dulu, tukar jadi equal dulu, and then find out 2 coordinates, and then cari coordinate and then plot and then draw the line lah. Kenapa yang ni kena cari coordinate? Because it's a sengit line. X plus y, bila dia ada x ada y dalam satu equation macam ni, it means the line is a sengit line. That's why when for sengit line kita tak boleh just lukis, kita kena cari point. Kalau vertical line, horizontal line, itu boleh lah. Garisan yang tegak ataupun garisan yang horizontal, then tak payah cari point. Tapi ini kena cari. So usually we ganti x kosong y kosong to find out the x intercept y intercept. So x kosong y is 40, y kosong x is 40. And if you look closely, 40 you have it in your square grid. This is 0 40, this is 40 0. Now it's time to join. And I always tell my student, when you join points, always need to check one thing, solid line or dash line. So this one is dash line. Why? Because if you look closely, dia tak ada line dekat bawah. Dia bigger 40. So kita kena guna garisan yang putus-putus. Kita kena buat dash line. So macam mana? Okay, I'm using laptop, so I have to do it a bit different. So it will be look something like this. Like this. Like this. Dash line. Dash line. Dash line. Dash line. Dash line, dash line, dash line. Okay, so let me remove this. Okay lah, something like that. And write down the equation x plus y equals 40. Okay, sekarang kita kena lorek. Kita sudah lukis 3 line. Sekarang kita kena shade the region. Okay, bila shade region, kita kena tengok bigger or smaller lah. Kalau bigger, lorek kawasan atas. Kalau smaller, lorek kawasan bawah. So the first inequality, it says here is bigger. But you have to make sure the y is positive. So the y is already positive, so boleh terus tengok. So bigger. It means kita kena lorek atas garisan x plus y equals 40. So let's go to x plus y equals 40 and then lorek atas. So lorek atas means here, 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 here. Tapi jangan lorek dulu. Don't lorek first. Because you have to make sure you lorek the region that the tiga-tiga ni overlap. Because there's 3 inequality at the same time. So you have to consider the other 2 inequalities. So let's look at the next inequality. X smaller equals 35. So the symbol is smaller. But sir, you say just now kena make sure Y positive dulu kan? Tapi ni tak ada Y macam mana? Okay, kalau tak ada Y, then tengok X lah. You know why dia tak ada Y lah? Sebab dia vertical line. Because it's a vertical line. That's why there is no Y intercept. Makes sense. And you can see if it's a vertical, you jangan tengok atas bawah. You tengok kiri kanan. Kiri is smaller, kanan bigger. So now it's smaller. So we have to shape the left side of this line. Kita kena lorek sebelah kiri for the x equals 35 punya line. So let's go to x equals 35 and then ambil kiri. So x equals 35 is here. So ambil kiri, smaller, because smaller. So we have to erase this lah, because this is on the right side. So you left with this and this, right? Sir, what about this? Okay, no, because you have to choose the one yang tiga-tiga overlap. Okay, so far the overlap region is this and this. So now we just have to check for the y equals 40. Then we will know the answer. So let's go to y 40. So the y is already positive. Boleh terus tengok. And what's the symbol? Smaller. So smaller means kena ambil bawah garisan. So let's go to y equals 40 and then ambil bawah. So y equals 40 sini, ambil bawah. So inilah jawapan dia. This one wrong already, right? So you left with this, right? So this triangle is the kawasan yang tiga-tiga overlap. All the three inequality, tiga-tiga kawasan, dia overlap dekat sini. So you choose, this is your final answer lah. Okay, let's double check and see what the question wants. Complete the graph, sudah siap. Shade the region that satisfy the system. So yeah, done. Sudah siap. Ini jawapan dia. Alright. Number 6. This looks like measures of dispersion. But is it group data or ungroup data? Okay, it's ungroup data. So it's form 4. Kalau group data, it will be form 5. Okay. Okay, form 4 chapter berapa? Not 7, 8. Yeah, form 4 chapter 8. This chapter is called Measures of Dispersion for Ungrouped Data. Dalam bahasa Melayu, sukatan serakan untuk data yang tak terkumpul. But when you masuk form 5, you belajar yang data terkumpul lah. Yang data terkumpul, dia ada kelas. Dia ada kelas. And bila dia ada kelas, ada frekuensi, dia punya formula akan jadi lain sikit. Dia jadi susah sikit lah. Okay, table 3 shows the achievement score of 2 participants in 5 mathematics tests. Ada 2 orang, Harry and Mika. Oh my god. Test 1. Ini markah dia. Test 2, test 3, test. Oh, test 4 punya markah tak bagi untuk Harry. Okay, tak apa. And then test 5, 90, 80. Okay, boleh. Given that the mean value of Harry's score is 69.8, calculate X. Oh, okay. So dia tak bagi X because dia nak cari lah. But they got give you something else. The mean for Harry's score. So kita boleh guna formula mean untuk cari balik markah in test 4. Okay. Alright. So let me scroll down a bit. Okay. First, let's talk about formula. What is the formula for mean? You take the sum of x divided by n. The x is the data. The n is the bilangan data. And then the x with a line on top, that's the mean. Okay. Tapi ada lagi satu formula untuk mean. It's sum of fx divided the sum of f. But this formula I will not use for this question. Okay, formula ni bila masa kita guna when the data ada frekuensi, ada kekerapan, baru kita guna formula yang bawah ni. Okay, so if it's for group data, definitely you will have frequency. For group data means the other class. You know what is class? This is class. Like 1 to 10, 11 to 20 or something, whatever. So kalau dia ada macam ni, then kita kena guna formula yang bawah lah sebab dia ada frequency. But this one don't have frequency. Yeah, it's ungrouped data. So what we do, just use the atas punya formula. So I will write here mean equals the formula. But actually we already know the mean. 69.8. So it becomes 69.8 equals, and then I draw a garisan, and then this line I will write down the mean formula. So the mean formula atas kena jumlahkan dia punya data. So the data is marks. Right, the marks. So the jumlah markah right atas lah, 64 plus 85 plus 70 plus x plus 90. But sir, the x tak ada lah. Tak apa, you ada jawapan dia mah. Nanti boleh pindah lah. And then over bilangan data means berapa markah. Because bilangan data in this case is the markah, right? So berapa test yang you ada? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5. Means you find out the average lah. You find out the purata markah. So to get the purata, just tambah semua bahagi 5. Because ada 5 exam kan. And that's the answer. Okay, I will pindah the 5 here first. Jadi darab 5. So 69.8 times with 5. What you get? Okay, I'm pressing my calculator. 349. Okay, and then yang ni number dengan number boleh tambah. Tapi X tak boleh lah. So X saya tulis siap-siap dulu. And then the rest I tambah. 64 plus 85 plus 70 plus 90. Okay, I got 309. So now my X answer how? Just ambil 349 plus 309 hantar sana jadi minus. So 49 minus 9 is 40. Okay, sudah siap. Ini jawapan A. Now let's do B. Given that the mean value for Mika is as the same as Harry. Oh, maksudnya apa? Mika punya mean you get same as the Harry punya mean. But Harry punya mean is 69.8, right? Okay, so I want to try to find the Mika punya mean. Saya nak tengok whether dia ada tipu saya ke tak. Okay, I want to see whether they are being honest or not. So saya nak check, tengok ada tak dia tipu saya. So let's find the mean Mika punya mean quickly. So let's tekan 73 plus 65 plus 73 plus 58 plus 80 and then answer divide 5. Oh, betul lah. Dia memang bagi 69.8. Yeah, I just tried it with my calculator just now. So, memang betul lah. Mean for Mika memang sama dengan Harry. And the standard deviation for Harry is 17.67. Is Mika chosen as the winner? Give your justification. Okay, kalau you nak choose one of these to as the winner, you will choose siapa? You will choose orang yang standard deviation kurang. You will choose the person with the smaller standard deviation. Kenapa? Kenapa kena pilih student yang smaller standard deviation to be the winner? Because smaller standard deviation means dia lebih consistent. CCN PY dia lagi kecil, dia lagi consistent. And usually you will choose the guy that is more consistent to win the competition. Because dia lagi consistent. Okay? Because ada 5 test mah. So you have to choose the one that perform well, not just perform well, and also is like more consistent. Okay, but since they have the same mean, yeah, the other average yang sama, rata dua-dua orang ni sama, so we use the standard deviation to tengok siapa menang. But you have to choose standard deviation yang kecil lah. Okay, okay, they already give you the standard deviation for Harry. So I'll write here standard deviation. Oh, ini simbol untuk standard deviation for Harry is already 17.67, right? So nanti saya kena cari apa? Standard deviation for Mika. And lepas tu kita kena banding jawapan sini dengan jawapan sini and tengok siapa kurang lah. Siapa yang kurang, dia lah yang winner. Dia lah yang menang. Okay, now I have to tell you the standard deviation formula pula. Let's go. Standard deviation formula. Okay, for data yang tak ada frequency, the formula is sum of x square over n minus mean square with the square root. And the square root have to tutup semua. It means the square root last kali baru tekan lah. Ya, standard deviation memang ada square root. Kalau variance, okay, kalau variance simbol dia macam ni. Kalau macam ni dia tak ada square root. Because the square root I sudah pindah sini tulis square sini. Macam tu. Okay, let's talk about what if it's data yang ada frequency. Okay, untuk data yang ada frequency dia akan jadi square root sum of fx square divide with sum of f and then minus mean square. And then kalau dia group data, the X you have to ambil midpoint. Kalau dia group data lah. Kalau dia group data. Kalau dia ada class. Then the X you kena ambil midpoint. Okay. But this question saya sudah cakap is ungroup data. So we will not be using this formula. We only use it for group data. Ataupun data yang ada frequency. Okay. So we will use this formula now. Okay. So when we find the standard deviation kena ada mean dulu lah. Tapi sudah ada mah. Dia sudah cakap Mika and Harry punya mean sama. So nanti dia punya mean for Mika will be 69.8 also, right? So the mean for Mika is 69.8. And later I need this 69. Nanti I kena guna ini tau. Yeah, I need to use this to find my standard deviation later. Okay, so now let's open the square root. Okay, now it's time to masuk semua value dalam lah. So square root, and then buat satu line, and then sini minus mean square. Because that's the formula. Okay. And the mean for Mika is 69.8. Okay. Yeah, because the mean for Mika is same as the mean for Harry. Okay, now atas kena buat apa? According to the formula, formula kata apa? You kena ambil sum of x square. Means you kena ambil semua data. And in this case, the data is the markah lah. So you kena ambil semua markah, kuasa 2 kan, lepas tu jumlahkan. Means you kena square and then jumlahkan. So square dulu. So 73 square for Mika punya plus 65 square plus 73 square and then plus 58 square plus 80 square. And then y plus, kenapa plus? Because you want to jumlahkan lah. And then over n minus mean square. N is 5 lah. Because ada 5 test. Okay, so sekarang kita boleh tekan. Tapi jangan straight away bagi dia final answer sini. Tekan atas dulu, jumlahkan atas, tulis dulu. And then over 5 minus 69.8 square. And then after this, satu baris lagi baru you bagi jawapan final. Okay, jangan satu baris terus bagi jawapan. Tak mau macam tu. Okay, let's jumlahkan atas. 73 square plus 65 square. Okay, I tengah tekan calculator. 73 square plus 58 square plus 80 square. Okay, I'm pressing the calculator. Okay, I got 24647. Let's go. And then now tekan answer bahagi 5 minus 69.8 square and then square root the whole thing. Okay, 7.5736 38492. Okay, you just write four significant figure. So 7.53574. 7.5736. So 574 lah. Yeah, because 36 mah. So 6 have to plus 1. Okay, so inilah standard deviation untuk Meka. Okay, but the soalan is not over. The soalan asks, is Mika chosen as the winner? So yes or no? Okay, I cakap tadi kan, you kena pilih yang standard deviation kecil untuk menang. So which one kecil? Harry punya or Mika punya lebih kecil? Mika punya. Because Harry is 17 point something, ini 7 point something. So Mika will be chosen. So I'll write yes. Mika is the winner. Ataupun you boleh cakap is chosen as the winner. Okay, is the winner. Okay, tapi dia ada tulis sebab kan? Give your justification. Okay, apa sebab dia? So we can write uh this is because this is oh my god. This is because Mika has a lower ataupun smaller standard deviation. Sisihan dia y dia lebih kecil. Okay. So has a smaller standard deviation. So she is more consistent. Okay, so I think for the sebab if you write like that, it's good enough. So is Mika the winner? Yes, Mika is the winner, and it's because Mika has a smaller standard deviation, causing resulting that she's more consistent lah. Means she's more consistent. Yeah, standard deviation lebih kecil means lagi consistent. Alright, sudah siap. Okay, number 7. What chapter? Form 4, chapter 7. This is called Graph of Motion, GOM. Okay. In this chapter, you learn about the DTG, distance time graph, and the STG, speed time graph. And you can file which graph can use gradient to find what. And then both graph can use the area under graph to find what. Itu semua kena tahu lah. Okay, let's baca soalan. Diagram 4 shows the speed time graph. Okay, the moment you see speed time graph, you need to know two things. The gradient of graph gives you the acceleration, and the area under graph gives you the what? If you cannot answer me, this means you are not ready for the SPM. So the area under graph will give you the distance. Okay. Ini semua basic. Kalau tak tahu ni, then very bahaya, very danger. You cannot face the SPM if you don't know this. So I explain one more time. For speed time graph, the gradient of the graph represents acceleration, and the area under graph will give you the distance answer. Okay. Of course, you have to check the unit also, but this is the basic knowledge you need to know. For speed time graph lah. For distance time graph, then it's different. Yeah. For distance graph, time graph, the gradient will be speed, and the area, they will not ask area. Yeah, they will not ask area in distance time graph. Okay, let's come back here. Speed time graph. So for the movement of car over a period of t seconds. Okay, let's observe the diagram. So I can see the x-axis is time in second, speed is meter per second. Okay, that's good. The SS got matched here. Okay, but this one is M over S. This one is S. Okay, but it's good that they are both in second. And you can see the first 8 seconds. 8 saat yang pertama, what happens here? The speed go from 15 to 10. So the speed is decreasing. So we call this decelerate. Yeah, pecutan. And then what happens here is the speed stay at 10. So what do we call this? Constant speed ataupun uniform speed. Dalam bahasa Melayu, kelajuan seragam. It means it's still moving, but it's moving with the same constant speed at 10 meter per second. Dia ada gerak juga, but it's at the constant speed. And then what about here? Decelerate. And decelerate until it reach the speed 0 lah. This is when the kereta sudah berhenti, sudah stop. Because the speed is 0 at here. Okay. Okay, sekarang soalan A suruh cari deceleration of the car motion in meter per second square for the first 8 seconds. Okay, let's highlight the first 8 seconds. Let's go. First 8 seconds is here. So cerita pasal garisan ni first 8 seconds. And they ask you to find deceleration. Pecutan. Okay, use gradient or use area? Gradient lah. Nak cari deceleration mah. But sir, I thought you said gradient is acceleration. Sama lah. Acceleration and deceleration sama lah. Acceleration is pecotan. Deceleration is pecotan. Okay. If you get your acceleration answer negative, that means it's decelerate lah. So accelerate and decelerate, they are the same thing. Okay. Okay, so I will use the gradient to do. Okay. Now imagine if I don't know about this. Imagine, just imagine I don't know the gradient for this graph will give me acceleration. Imagine I don't know this, then die lah. How you supposed to do this in the exam? Kalau you tak tahu this basic knowledge, right? So make sure you know now. Speed time graph memang gradient dia boleh guna untuk cari acceleration. Okay, tapi gradient tu kecerunan. You nak cari kecerunan garisan yang mana? Ada banyak garisan. Which line you want? Of course, the first 8 second. So this one is 0.15 and this one is 8.10. And at the same time, check the unit also. Meter ms minus 1 s, right? So when you take y minus y over x minus x, so your y minus y will come out in m per s. And then when you ambil x minus x, you come out in second. And what happens when you take meter per second per second? Meter per second square lah, which is what they want. ms minus 2. So the unit is already 6 already. Okay. But you have to check punya dia punya unit. Sometimes you kena ambil sini convert. Sometimes maybe dia bagi minute sini, then you have to time 60 or bahagi 60. So kena check jugalah. Okay. But this one the unit is already cantik already. Because when you take gradient, when you ambil y-axis, y minus y bahagi x minus x, you become meter per second, which is meter per second square. Okay, sekarang buat apa? Gradient formula y minus y, 15 minus 10. And then x minus x is 0 minus 8. And later your answer will automatically come out in meter per second square. Okay, this one is 5 over negative 8. Okay, but this one, if you tekan calculator, is negative 0.625. Okay, now I want to mention something very important. This is the gradient, right? This is the gradient. But the soalan asks for deceleration. So tell me, what is the deceleration? Can I write negative 0.625? No. No. I have to write positive 0.625 and the unit, I'll write it here. You realize or not, I never write the unit here. Yeah, because this is the gradient answer. I'm trying to find deceleration. That's why I tulis satu baris lagi and then baru I write down the ms minus 2. Okay. Oh, by the way, ms minus 2, if you write like that also can. Same thing. Okay. Okay, I want to explain why I never write the negative. Because deceleration already means that it's decreasing. Deceleration already means that it's negative. So if I write another negative here, then later negative becomes positive. That's why deceleration I will not write. Okay. What if I change the question? I said calculate the acceleration of the car in the first 8 seconds. Then you have to write the negative here. Yeah, because the acceleration is negative lah. But if I already call it deceleration, then it already means that it's negative. So we don't have to put another negative. If I put another negative, then it's wrong. Okay. All right, that's all for question A. Now for B. Calculate the value of t if the total distance. Oh, whoa, distance. Immediately you have to think about this. Distance for speed time graph, we will use the area under graph. Luas bawah graph. Area is luas. So later confirm you have to find area. But you have to read carefully, it's for what period. So value of t if the total distance by the car is 245 meter. So I think it's for the whole journey lah. Yeah, sometimes they don't want the whole journey. Sometimes they only want 8 seconds. Then you only find the areas ini lah. Okay, tapi kalau dia nak 20 second, then maybe cari sini sajalah. Tapi ini dia tak bagi tahu kan. Dia just kata total distance travel. So we can assume that it's for the whole journey. So that means the total area under graph is 245 meter. Okay, 245 meter. Okay. All right. So what I have to do now? Find the total area lah. So total distance is 245 means total area under graph is 245. Okay, how to find the total area under graph? Okay, first of all, this is the graph. Like that. But I want the area under graph. Under, bawah garisan ni. So bila awak lorek bawah, awak akan dapat satu shape yang macam ni, which is trapezium. And satu shape yang macam ni, which is rectangle. Which is satu shape yang macam ni, triangle. Okay, I know some student, they're very smart. They will say something like this. They will say like, sir, what if I take this two shape as a whole, like that? It means I take this whole as a trapezium and then tambah with this trapezium. Okay, can also. Boleh juga. You dapat jawapan sama. Tapi kalau takut, just buat macam saya. Okay, just break it down into 3 shapes and then find separately. Okay, let's find the area of first trapezium. 1/2 times the sum of parallel sides, which is this side and this side. So 15 plus 10. Okay, and then the perpendicular distance between the two sides is 8. And also one more thing why we can take like that is because the unit is also ngam already. This one is meter per second, this one is second. So imagine if you take meter per second, you're finding area, right? So technically you are taking the y-axis times with the x-axis. So you cut, you left with meter lah. And the answer yang dia bagi 245 is also in meter. Okay. Yeah. Alright. Plus with, that's the area of trapezium. Plus with the next shape is a rectangle. Segi empat. Rectangle punya luas, how you find it? Just take the base times height. Okay, the base is not 20, it's not 8, it's 20 minus 8. So it will be 12. Okay. So nak dapat panjang sini, ambil 20 minus 8, dapat 12. Darab lagi dengan dia punya tinggi 10. Okay, last one, triangle, segitiga. What is the formula to find area of triangle? 1 over 2 times base times height. Okay. Okay, dia punya base is here. So the base will be this minus this, t minus 20. And then the height will be here, which is the y coordinate of this point 10. Okay. Okay, now I can just scroll down and then just focus on finding t lah. Okay. 15 plus 10 boleh buat 25. 25 times 8 divide 2. I don't know. Let's press times 8 divide 2. 100. That's what my calculator gave me. So 100 is the area of the first trapezium. Tambah 12 times 10, that's 120. That will be the, so it means the loss here is 100 lah, trapezium. 120. Okay, for the triangle, you will not be able to find out the area because they don't have T, right? But it's okay because you have the total area answer. So nanti boleh pindah. Okay. Okay. 1 over 2 times T minus 20 times 10. Okay. You can take 1 over 2 times 10 first. Because 10 boleh darab dengan 1 over 2, right? Okay. So 10 bahagi 2 dapat 5. So the 5 will be 5 times with T minus 20 like this. And then the 5 boleh kembang. Sebenarnya tak nak kembang pun boleh tau. Ya, kalau tak nak kembang, boleh juga. Okay. Actually, it's better if you tak kembang. But okay, I'll just kembang lah. Okay, 5 times T, 5T, 5 times 20, negative 100. Okay. Then what about the 100 plus 120? Tu tulis saja lah. And then the 255 also can tulis. Okay, 100 minus 100 boleh potong. So now left with 5T. Okay, nak cari T. So T kena single. So 120 kena pindah sana. So 245 minus 120. 1, 2, 5. And then T, sekarang pindah 5 lah. 1, 2, 5 bahagi 5 is 25. Okay. Okay, and T is value here. So it's the time in second. So let's write the unit for that. So 25 second. And ada logic tak kalau sini 25? Sini 8, 8, sini 20. So sini 25. Okay lah, logic lah. So that's the answer. Done. Okay, number 8. What chapter is this? Form 4, chapter 10. How come I can tell so fast? Because I see loan, I see expenses. Yeah. I see rent, I see salary, utility. Yeah, it's definitely Form 4, chapter 10. Consumer Mathematics, Financial Management. Dalam bahasa Melayu, pengurusan keuangan. Okay, this chapter is easy. Okay, yeah, it's very short chapter and it's like very simple. Usually student think it's hard is when they ask the smart, the one yang kena tulis smart, but yang tu pun tak susah pun, tapi itu jarang tanya lah, but make sure you know that also. But this is not soalan yang tanya smart. Yeah, I don't think they ask for smart here. Yeah, no, I check already. Okay, Encik Farid works as a teacher. Oh, we have the same job. Yay, high five. In a school lah. Okay, then no. Okay, no, I don't teach at school. Okay, with a salary, monthly net salary of 7,800. That means satu bulan dia earn 7,800 from teaching in the school. Wow. I need to consider changing my teaching place. Maybe I should teach at school also. Okay, he also become a tuition teacher with a monthly salary of 1,250. Okay, so dia ada tuition dekat school, also tuition teacher pun ada. So dia punya income from school working at school is this. This one is working from tuition. And he also earns a rental income of 700 per month from his second house. Oh, so he will rent out his second house and he will earn a rental for 700 per month. Okay, these are all per month, per month, per month. Satu bulan, satu bulan, satu bulan. Table 4 shows Encik Farid estimated monthly expenses. So this table semua, the whole table here, everything here is for the expenses, the perbelanjaan. And then this 3 is the pendapatan. That is the income, pendapatan. Okay, let's scroll down. Oh, by the way, these two, we call it active income. Active income because you have to be there to earn the money. This is called the passive income, the rent received. Okay, yeah, because this one is just like you don't have to be there. You just rent out your house and then the money will come in every month. Okay, that's the passive income. Okay, Expenses, you have two types: fixed expenses and variable expenses. Perbelanjaan tetap and perbelanjaan tak tetap. So let's go through all the expenses. Housing loan installment, this one is fixed, tetap. Housing loan fixed, belanjaan tetap. Food, variable. Okay, variable. Because food expenses, you can control the expenses, control your control the spending behavior. Okay, for the housing loan, that one you cannot control. Utility, that one can control. So perbelanjaan tak tetap, variable. Toll and petrol, this one is also variable, tak tetap, because you can control the expenses. Internet service, can I control the internet service? No. So this is fixed expenses. Okay, yeah. Food at a fancy restaurant, ini variable juga, because you can control which restaurant you eat, and from there you can control the spending. So dia perbelanjaan tak tetap. Insurance is fixed. Yeah, yeah. You choose to buy insurance, it means it's a fixed expenses. You cannot control the spending. Okay. Now let's see what they want. Soalan A, based on information above, state Encik Farid's passive income. Passive income is the rent received lah. That's the only passive income, right? Tapi dia tak suruh you tulis dia punya nilai. Dia suruh nyatakan, state. So I will just write rent received from second house. Okay. Yeah, because the soalan tak suruh tulis dia punya nilai. Dia suruh state kan. Nyatakan. So nyatakan rental income of 700 from the second house. So I'll just write rent received from second house. Ataupun you boleh tulis rental income from second house. Okay, so that's the answer. Okay. And the amount is 700. Okay lah, I write the amount also lah, just to be safe. Okay, I write the amount also. So based on information, what's the passive income? Rent received from second house, which is 700. Okay, yeah, it's only worth 1 mark. So okay, that's all. B, Encik Farid sets aside 10% of his salary as a monthly fixed savings to achieve his financial goals. Calculate Encik Farid's monthly cash flow. Okay, I think this question has a bit of a problem, because they say 10% of salary, right? So when I do it first, I take the 7,800 plus with this, because the tuition teacher also salary, right? So I thought I have to plus these two and then multiply 10 and then tambah 10%. But then when I look at the schema did different. The schema the only takes 7,800 plus 10%. But when I read back the question says 10% of his salary. Tapi dia tak kata salary yang mana. Dia ada dua salary tau. One is salary from teaching school, one is from the tuition. So they never said. So at first I thought it's dua-dua ni tambah and then plus with 10%. But then when I check the schema, they did different. They only take the school salary, teaching at school punya salary tambah 10% only. So I think this question has some masalah. Okay, it's not clear. Okay, they have to mention carefully 10% of what salary, because there's two salary here. Yeah, you have to mention clearly if you want to ask question like that, right? So I think I will just change the question myself. So sets aside of his salary from teaching at school. Yeah, so I'm changing the question myself. Yeah, because if they don't mention it like that, then how am I supposed to know which salary? Dia ada dua salary, satu untuk tuition, satu untuk ni school. Okay, so now we know 10% of his salary from teaching school as monthly fixed savings to achieve his goal. So let's find out berapa saving. Okay, let's find out berapa saving. Okay, the cash flow nanti dulu. Itu nanti. Cash flow nanti. Okay, how many? 10%, right? So 7,800 is the salary from teaching at school. So 7,800. Tapi dia nak save 10% from here. So darab dengan 10%, you dapat 780. So inilah dia punya savings. Okay, ini dia punya simpanan. Okay, now we calculate the cash flow. Sekarang baru kita buat cash flow. Okay, cash flow ada formula. Formula dia adalah total income minus total expenses. Jumlah pendapatan tolak dengan jumlah perbelanjaan. Okay, pendapatan ada tiga. Ada tiga. 7,800, 1,250, 700. 7,800, 1,250, 700. Now, since I use 10% to masuk saving, so I kena tolak dengan 780. Okay, it means the 7,800 have to minus 780. But the position where you write the negative 780 is not important. Some of you, maybe you want to write it here. Maybe you want to write it here, negative 780. But if you write it here, make sure you erase here lah. Can also lah, same thing. Okay, now After you get your total, from here you get your total income already. Okay, and then you have to minus with all the total expenses, which is all this 600, 900, 700, all this lah. Okay, so let's write down everything. 600, 900, 700, minus lagi apa? 350, 200, 100. 350, 200, 100. 350, 200, 100. Okay, apa lagi? 400, 350. And semua ni expenses ah. So semua kena tolak. Minus 400, minus 350. Okay, now it's time to press calculator. So you kena tunggu saya sekejap. I kena apa? Saya kena apa? Tekan. Okay, 1250 plus 700 minus 780 minus 600 minus 900 minus 700 minus 350 minus 200, 300 minus 750. Okay, my calculator give me 5370. Yeah, so hope you get the same also. So this is the RM, the cash flow for that month. Okay, so the soalan says calculate cash flow. Inilah jawapan dia, right? Okay, whenever I teach my student, I always tell my student, if the soalan asks for cash flow, after you find out the cash flow, always write down here whether it's a positive or negative cash flow. So this one is a positive cash flow, so just write it positive cash flow. Okay, yeah, it's recommended to write this. Yeah, it's recommended. Okay, so remember, whenever you find cash flow, after you're done with the calculation, just open a bracket, and if it's positive, write positive cash flow. If it's negative, write negative cash flow. Okay. Okay, I think that's all right. They never ask you to explain your answer or write down anything. So yeah, that's all. But if they ask to explain, then you just explain, just write lah. Encik Farid has a surplus of 5370 after deducting all the expenses. Surplus means lebih lah. Dia ada lebih. After you tolak the expenses, there's still extra positive cash flow. Okay, that's all. Okay, question 9, let's go. So, saya nampak sin cos tan, saya sudah tahu which chapter, form 5 chapter 6. Ratio and graph of trigonometric function. Okay, and this chapter they decide to ask ratio. For A they ask ratio, for B they ask the graph. Okay, okay, so find the following values without using a scientific calculator. Kalau dia cakap without using scientific calculator, it means they want you to use the special, it means later you will end up with special angle. Okay, so let's talk about special angle. Okay, if you are my student, you pernah salin dah table ni. I'm sure you already know what I will tell you. You sudah tahu dah. Because I let you salin this before. So this will be sine, cos, tangent. And the special angle, there is 0, 90, 180, 270, 0, 90, 180, 270, 360, and then 30, 45, 60. Okay, I remember asking my own students to salin this, and I remember asking them, telling them to hafal this table. So you have sine theta, cos theta, tangent theta, and then 0, 90, 180, 270, 360, and then 30, 45, 60. Okay, okay, and you have to hafal all the answers lah. Okay, kalau sine 0 is 0, sine 180, 360 is also 0. Tapi kalau cos 90 and cos 270 is 0. And then kalau tangent 0, tangent 180, tangent 360 all 0. Okay. And then kalau sine 90 is 1, sine 270 is negative 1, cos 0 is 1, cos 360 is also 1, cos 180 negative 1, tangent 90 is math error, and then tangent 270 is math error, so negative infinity. And then sine 30 and cos 60 sama 1 over 2, 1 over 2. Cos 60, sine 60 and cos 30, this one also sama, it will be sec 3 over 2. Sec 3 over 2. And then sine 45 and cos 45, same answer, 1 over sec 2, 1 over sec 2. And then tangent 30 is 1 over sec 3. Nombor atas tulis sini, nombor bawah tulis sini. Okay, ini table yang students kena hafal. Okay. But what if they ask sine 65? Contoh, kalau dia nak cari sine 65. Then yang tu guna calculator. Yang tu guna calculator. Okay. Because 65 is not a special angle, right? You only hafal for this angle sahaja. Yang 0, 90, 180, 270, 360, 30, 45, 60. Ini je yang kena hafal. Okay. Like 31, 32, 33, yang tu semua tak payah. Okay. Untuk angle yang special ni je yang you kena hafal. So now we can do this question. right? So you can see 4 sine 135 minus 3 tan 300 2 cos 315. So tell me what is the answer for sine 135? Okay, I know in the table tak ada sudut 135, right? So maybe you say like, sir, you tipu, you cakap ini kena guna table ni tapi 135 tak ada sini. Okay guys, before you tengok, you kena cari dia punya reference angle dulu. If the angle is not in quadrant 1, if it's quadrant 2 or 3 or 4, the correct way is to change to first quadrant first. Okay, I remember teaching this to my own student also. Okay, yeah. So if the angle is not quadrant 1, change to reference angle. It means convert to quadrant 1. Okay, kalau quadrant 2 macam mana convert? 180 minus. Kalau quadrant 3 minus 180. Kalau quadrant 4 360 minus. Because that's how you find out the reference angle in quadrant 1. Okay, and when you convert to quadrant 1, you have to check, add sugar to coffee and check whether it's positive or negative. Okay. Alright, sign second quadrant, memang sign positive because second quadrant rumah sign kan. So we can just write it as sign bracket and then the 135 I will take 180 minus to find out the corresponding reference angle in quadrant 1. Okay. And I don't have to letak negative anything here. That's all. Minus 3 tangent 300. Okay, 300 is which quadrant? Dia sudah melebihi 270. It's already more than 270. So it's quadrant 4. Quadrant 4 rumah siapa? Cos. It means cos quadrant 4, then only it will be positive. But now it's tangent. So tangent 300 will come out negative. So what happens? I have to put negative here, right? But it's okay. The minus 3, when I put negative, it becomes plus. So I'll just write plus here. Okay. And then the 300, I will do 360 minus to convert to the reference angle. Okay, last one. Plus 2 cos 315. Okay, 315 is also quadrant 4. How to change to quadrant 1? 360 minus 315. But I have to double check positive or negative. Cos 4 quadrant. Cos quadrant 4. Cos quadrant 4. Memang cos positive. So I don't have to do anything with the sign. Just leave it. Okay, now you get 4 sine 45 because this one minus this one plus 3 tangent. Okay, why I write 3? What is the theta? 300, right? Okay, so 360 minus 300, 60, and then plus 2 cos. This one minus this one is 45. Now it's time to masukkan nilai sin 45, masuk tangent 60, masuk cos 45. Okay, sin 45. 1 over sert 2. Okay. And then sin tangent 60. Okay, I sudah hafal sert 3. What the hell? This one is cert 2 ma. Why I write 45? Sorry, mabuk. Okay, this one is cert 3. Okay, cos 45, I should have 1 over cert 2. Okay. Don't ask me where this come from. It come from table lah. I write it here. Everything is from here. Okay, now kita boleh darab masuk. So dia akan jadi 4 over cert 2 tambah 3 cert 3 tambah 2 over cert 2. Okay, I realize something. This is over cert 2 over cert 2. So kita boleh buat apa? Kita boleh gabung dia supaya dia jadi single fraction. So if you notice here, 4 over cert 2 plus 2 over cert 2, dia boleh jadi 6 over cert 2. Ya, because pecahan dengan pecahan kan, and then dia punya bawah sudah sama mah. Same denominator, so you can take atas tambah atas, and then plus with 3 cert 3. Okay, this is your final answer. Okay, this is your final answer. But most of the time, we will rationalize the cert. Okay, apa maksud rationalize? You learn this in AdMaths. Kalau you punya jawapan ada square root dekat bawah, kita kena hilangkan square root dekat bawah. And the process to hilangkan square root dekat bawah is to rationalize. It's called rationalize. Okay. Yeah, because you want, that's how you simplify cert. That's how you simplify square root. Kalau ada square root bawah, we simplify it by hilangkan square root dekat denominator dekat bawah. And you kena hilangkan dia macam mana? You have to multiply ataupun darab dengan dia punya conjugate cert. So you darab with square root 2. But kalau bawah darab square root 2, atas pun kena darab benda yang sama. Right? And kenapa saya buat macam tu? Kenapa I darab dengan square root 2? Because I want the square root to hilang. So square root 2 times square root 2 will give you 2. And then 6 times square root 2 will be 6 square root 2. And then plus 3 square root 3. Okay. And yeah, this is good. This is your answer. But wait. If this one is over 2, can I make this over 2 also? Because this one over 1, right? So let's make it over 2 for both. No. No need. This 6 and 2 can terus bahagi mah. Okay. So 6 and 2 can just cut 6 bagi 2 dapat 3. So the final answer is 3 square root 2 plus 3 square root 3. And then no fraction already. Yeah, so this is the answer. Okay. So remember, kalau you punya pecahan ada square root, Make sure dia punya square root tak ada dekat bawah. Kalau ada bawah means dia boleh simplify lagi lah. You kena rationalize. So now we are done lah. So after rationalize and then you do, you end up with the answer in simplest form. So that's the answer. Okay, this is worth 2 marks. Okay, I'll take it. Alright, B. In the answer space, sketch the graph for y equals 3 sine 2x minus 1 for 0 until 360. So they want you to draw it in this square grid. Okay, let's see. Is there any space down here? Okay, nothing there already. Okay, so I will draw now. Y equals 3 sine 2x minus 1. Okay, first you need to understand what is the 2 mean, what is the 3 means, and what's the negative 1 means. Okay, you kena tahu apa nilai semua ni, apa maksud dia. Okay, before I draw this, let's draw y equals sine x first. Because if you don't know this, ya ni lagi lah tak boleh. Okay, do you know how the sine graph looks like? The shape looks like a wave. Okay, like a wave. So wave starts from 0 and then go wave like that. Okay, and I want students to hafal the coordinate. This coordinate, this coordinate, this coordinate, all hafal. Yeah, if you're my student, you will remember this. I remember asking my student to hafal this. So this coordinate will be 91. Okay, and then this is 180 0. And then this is 270 negative 1. Because if you tarik atas, this is 270. And then this is 360 0. Okay. Why is it important to hafal this point is because sometimes they ask for sine 2x. Like for example, this question they ask for sine 2x. And what's the meaning of sine 2x? That means you have to take this graph and compress the graph horizontally. So this graph you have to compress horizontally. And why you have to compress? Because the sine 2x maksudnya apa tahu? Maksudnya you kena lukis dua sine graph dalam 360. So instead of drawing one sine graph in 360, you have to draw two sine graph in 360. It means the sine graph have to be compressed. Kita kena tekan dia punya sine graph, tekan semua ni. So what happens to the x coordinate? The x coordinate will all get pushed back. And it will be pushed back to where? It will be exactly half. Exactly half. But the y coordinate never change. So the y coordinate never change, just the x coordinate. So for example, the 91, when you push back, it will be at 45, 1. Okay. Okay, so let's write now. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3 lah. And then this is negative 1, this is negative 2, this is negative 3. So as you can see, the first point is at 91. But when you push, you become 45, 1. Okay, so 90, okay, 180, the half is here. And then 183, 60, the half is here. So this is 270. Oh, excuse me. So 91, when you push back, you have to take the 90 divide by 2. If this one is 3x, then you divide 3 lah. If it's 4x, you divide by 4. If it's 2, you divide by 2. So 90 divided 2 is 45. So this is your new point. Okay. The 0, 0 never change lah, because if it's 0, 0, if you take 0 divide 2, you get 0 also. Okay, what about this point? Can you tell me? 180, 0. This is the old position, but when you push back, when you compress, the 180, 0, the x coordinate have to divide 2. So you end up with 90, 0. Same with the 270 negative 1. The 270, only the x coordinate bahagi 2. So you get 135 negative 1. 135 is 90, 180 middle here. And then negative 1 is here. And then the 360, 0 have to compress, become 180, 0. Okay. Okay. This is the sine 2x graph. But of course, you have to, how to say, repeat the same one more time like that lah. Okay. But this is not your final answer. Yeah, it's not the final answer. Why is this not the final answer? Because the soalan asked for what? It asks for sin 2x saja. Tak ada. The 3 and negative 1 pun kena tengok. Okay, so now you already know the sin 2x means what? It means your graph has to be compressed horizontally and all the x coordinate will get pushed back. All the x coordinate have to divide 2. Okay, what about the 3? The 3 means the amplitude has to be 3 units. And what's the amplitude? The distance from the highest point to the center line. That means instead of the point being here, it should be here, because the amplitude distance has to be 3 units. And what other points I have to change? This one also, right? Because it will be at negative 3. Okay. But of course, there's one more here, and then one more here, and then one more here, right? Okay. Okay, but is this your final answer? Can I draw now? Still cannot. Still cannot, because ada satu lagi, minus 1. Okay, -1 means what? The whole graph have to move down 1 unit, have to turun 1 unit, turun elevator, turun lift, kena turun lift, tekan lift, and then tekan turun 1 tingkat. So what happens to all your points? The y coordinate have to turun -1 lah. But the x coordinate never change. So all the x coordinate of these points stay the same, but the y coordinate -1. So it become like this. This one -1 become like this. This one -1 become like this. This one -1 become like this. So there will be -4 already. This one. Okay. Y coordinate yang turun 1. Y coordinate turun 1. Gerak turun 1, turun 1, turun 1. You jangan gerak kiri kanan. Tak ada, tak ada. Ini turun saja. Okay, let's erase all the old points. So these are all the red color one lah. Okay, now we are done with all the coordinate. Now we can join. And let me tell you, it will look dia punya shape akan jadi macam mana. It will be one wave, two wave, two sine graph. Okay, so now we will join. Okay, this one you have to use freehand. Okay, so let me draw now. Okay, good enough. All right, cantik, cantik. Let's go. Okay, make sure your graph ada sentuh point yang you plot lah. Okay, so this is the answer for y equals 3 sine 2x minus 1. That's how you sketch. This is how you sketch. Okay, so why is it like that? Why? Okay, tell me what is this line? Tell me what is this line? Garisan ni adalah garisan apa? Okay, this line is actually the old x-axis. This line is the old x-axis. Why I cakap macam tu? Because originally the x-axis is like that. But why the x-axis move from here? Why it suddenly jump up? Yalah, because your whole graph turun 1 unit. So bila you punya graph turun 1 unit, you punya x-axis akan jadi atas sikit. That's why the x-axis from here move here already. That's the reason why. Okay, so that's all. This is the answer. Okay. Sine 2x, 2 sine graph. 3 means the amplitude has to be 3. -1 means turun 1 unit. That's why the maximum value become 2 and then the lowest become -4. Alright. Sudah siap. Okay, number 10. What chapter? Encik Samer, CC and CD. Motor insurance. So form 5 chapter 3 and it's under motor insurance. Okay, I don't even want to read the question. I want to give you the notes. Okay, I don't have. Okay, I'll just show you using the Penang set. Yeah. So this is the Penang set. Okay, the reason why I opened the Penang set is because there's one question like that also. Okay, so let's find out where's the motor insurance question. Oh, I see it already. Number 4. Okay, if you want the explanation for this Penang paper, you can watch it on my YouTube. It's already uploaded. Okay, so they ask for third party fire and theft in the Penang state paper. Okay, let's see in Kelantan what they ask. Is it for the same policy or different policy? Oh my god, third party fire and theft also. So imagine it comes out in two different state. Two different state paper ask the same thing. It means it's very high chance it will ask like that in the SPM also, right? So make sure you know how to calculate third party fire and theft lah. Okay, so let's go through the formulas now. Okay, I will not go into the working for this. I'll just want this part only. Okay, so again, if you want the explanation for this Penang paper for the whole notes, just go to my Penang video. It's already on my YouTube. Okay. Alright, so for motor insurance, these are the formulas that you kena tahu. So dia ada 3 polisi yang boleh tanya, yang dia akan tanya comprehensive, third party fire and theft and the third party policy. For comprehensive policy, you kena tahu formula dia. Dia punya formula macam ni. Tengok motor tarif. Alright, and usually the soalan will give you the motor tarif plus with bracket sum insured minus 1000 divide 1000 times with 26 kalau Semenanjung, 20.3 kalau Sabah Sarawak. And the question will give you the motor tarif and the sum insured and the location. Whether it's Perak or Kedah or Sabah or Kota Kinabalu or Kuching. Kalau Kuching then is at Sarawak then 20.3 lah. So the soalan will need to give you motor tarif, sum insured and the location, whether it's Semenanjung or Sabah Sarawak. Okay. Then to get the gross premium kasar, just take the BP answer, basic premium answer minus NCD. Okay, that's all for comprehensive. Now for third party fire and theft, which is what we have to do later, because the soalan asked for third party fire and theft. you have to take 75% times with the basic premium of comprehensive. But how to find basic premium of comprehensive? Like that lah, like this one lah. This is the basic premium of comprehensive lah. It means kalau dia tanya third party fire and theft, you have to do this step also. Because if you tak buat step ni, then you tak boleh darab 70, because you want to do this first lah, then only you can darab 75% to get the basic premium for third party fire and theft. And then for the gross premium, just minus NCD. For third party, this is the paling senang one lah. Just tengok motor tarif. Lepas tengok motor tarif, terus tolak NCD. Third party memang senang saja. Dia tak payah tambah apa darab apa, tak payah. Because the motor tarif value, the comprehensive value is only for first 1,000. That's why we have to calculate the balance remaining. That's why you have to minus 1,000 bahagi 1,000. But for the third party value, is already the full value. So if it's already the full value, I don't have to tolak 1,000 semua tu, tak payah dah. Okay, so semua ni kita tahu. So now let's go to the soalan. So now let's read. Encik Samer stands in Peninsula. See? I told you right. Dia mesti kena bagi tahu dia punya location. So Peninsula meaning 26. 26. Later, if I need to find the basic premium or comprehensive, kena ambil 26 ringgit. He wants to renew Rotex by buying a motor insurance policy for his car. Ini tak penting. Table 5 shows the vehicle information he wants to insure. Okay, sum insured will be important because when you calculate comprehensive basic premium, you need this. Age of vehicle, this is useless. Engine capacity, yeah, this is useful because when you baca motor tarif, you need to know what CC. And the NCD is also important when you calculate gross premium lah. The NCD is only important when you calculate gross premium. Okay, what else? Table 6 shows the premium rate under the motor tarif for motor policy issued in Peninsula Malaysia. So this is the motor tarif. And if you tengok dari motor tarif, dia ada untuk comprehensive and third party. But the comprehensive is only for the first 1,000. That's why you have to plus with the sum insured minus 1,000 bahagi 1,000 darab 26 for this question because it's Semenanjung. Okay, and then the third party policy also written here, but I don't think we will use this for this question because the soalan tak suruh pun untuk cari third party kan. Tadi saya sudah tengok. Okay, and then this is the CC. Okay, what CC is this? Is that just now? 1,800. So 1,800. So you want to tengok yang mana 1,800. Okay, dekat sini dia tulis capacity tidak melebihi. It means smaller equals. Engine capacity not exceeding. Okay. Okay, 1,400. So we have to choose yang apa? Not exceeding, right? So how? So 1,800. 1,800. Not exceeding 1,000. This is wrong, right? Because 1,800 sudah melebihi ini. Okay. And then 1,800. This one also no. Because sudah 1,800 sudah melebihi. You kena choose yang tak melebihi. Not exceed. So 1,800, as you can see, does not exceed 2,200. So this is the one. This is the one yang you kena tengok. This is the comprehensive value. This is the third party value. Okay. Okay, but we have to use which one? Okay, the one depends on what the question asks lah. If they ask for comprehensive, then you do this one lah. If they ask for third party, you take this. Okay, they say for comprehensive value, the rate charge is for the first 1,000 for the sum insured. Okay lah, this one I know already. Yeah, this one memang I know already. That's why the formula for comprehensive basic premium, that's why you have to plus with the sum insured minus 1,000 divided 1,000. That's why lah. And then the formula, okay, this one all just skip. Yeah, because this formula actually they give in this is the formula from textbook. Okay. And I already make it simple for you. Yeah, saya sudah mudahkan saya punya formula. I already make it simple for you. So just use this. Okay. Just do it like this. Okay. Because the one they write in the textbook is like they write it in sentence. So it's like a bit hard, but it's the same thing lah. Okay, you see basic premium rate for first means empty lah. Means the motor tariff lah. 26 means for each 1,000 for part thereof exceeding first one, it means like sum insured minus 1,000 divided 1,000 times 26. Yeah. So basically it's just the same thing. Alright, so now let's do A. Calculate the basic premium for his car third party fire and theft policy. Okay, I hope none of you go to the motor tariff and you write 151.20 for the basic premium. Please don't do that. Do not do that. Okay, some students do it like that is because they thought they see the word third party and then they go and tengok third party here. No lah guys. This is third party fire and theft. Yang dekat motor tarif is third party. Dia tak sama. Third party and third party fire and theft is not the same thing. Polisi pihak ketiga and polisi pihak ketiga kebakaran kecurian bukan tak sama. Dia tak sama. So for pihak ketiga kebakaran kecurian, you have to use 75% multiply with the basic premium of comprehensive. Okay, BP for comprehensive. That is the formula. Okay, that means we have to calculate the basic premium of comprehensive first. Okay, so this formula come from where? It come from here lah, guys. The notes I tell you already, 75% times basic premium of comprehensive, right? So now I have to do what? I have to do this step, this one. Okay. After do this, then sub inside here, and then times 75%, then finish lah. Because they only ask for basic premium. Okay. Okay, so let's use this formula now. Motor tarif plus sum insured minus 1,000 divided 1,000. So the motor tarif value would be what? I'm calculating for comprehensive. So 339.1. 339.10 plus with sum insured minus 1,000 divided 1,000. Okay, the sum insured, I remember they got mentioned up here. Yeah, 89,000. So minus 1,000 divided 1,000. So 88 lah. Because minus 1,000 is 88,000 and then divide 1,000 you get 88 here. Times with 26 because Semenanjung, right? Okay, calculate all this. Okay, this will be 88. So tekan 88 times 26 plus 339.1. Okay, 2627.1. But that's not the answer. That's the basic premium of comprehensive. They ask for basic premium of third party fire and theft. Okay. Okay, so let's write nicely. Basic premium of third party fire and theft. Okay, I write short form lah. But in exam you write full lah. Okay, so how to do it? 75% multiply with 2627.1. Yeah, multiply with the basic premium comprehensive. Okay, what is the answer? 1970.325. So you write 33 lah. Because this one is RM. RM you can only write in 2 decimal place. Okay. Okay, let me double check with my calculator. Yeah, 197.0.33. Okay, that's my basic premium. And the soalan asked for basic premium only. So that's all. Now to do B, calculate the gross premium of third party fire and theft. Yeah, this one's easy lah. Just take your A answer. So the gross premium. But they also want for third party fire and theft So you just take the third party fire and theft basic premium, which is the A answer 1970.33 minus with the NCD percentage. So the NCD percentage is no claim discount 30%. So you have to ambil 30%, darab dengan 1970.33 and then take the 1970.33 minus answer. Okay. Okay, so what is the answer? 1970.33 minus, okay, tekan this first. So 30% multiply with 1970.33. Okay, 591.099. And then now 1970.33 minus answer. Okay, 1379.23. Actually, it's 231. But again, it's RM. RM kena ada berapa decimal place? 2 decimal place. So 231, but the 1 we never write it. So this is the gross premium. 1,379 ringgit 23 cents. Okay. So guys, if you all facing SPM, you all need to know, make sure you know all the formulas for the motor insurance. So let me open it once for you. This one. If you want to take a screenshot or you want to silent this formula, you can pause the video now and memorize it now. Or if you want to silent, or you want to screenshot, do it now. Or you want to memorize it, pause it and just pause the video now and memorize this. Hafal benda ni, sangat penting. And also the exam won't tell you the 26 20.3 soalan tak bagi tahu lah. Dia tak bagi tahu, they will not remind you about this. Kena hafal. So I have to memorize lah. Okay, I'm done with this question. I'll continue. Okay, number 11. What chapter? Looks like the graph theory from 4 chapter 5. Okay, network in graph theory. Dalam bahasa Melayu, rangkaian dalam teori graph. Let's go. Diagram 5 shows an undirected graph that has loops and multiple edges. Undirected graph means graph tak terarah. It means dia tak ada arrow, tak ada direction. Okay, it means it can go both ways. Okay, and then it has loops and multiple edges. Kalau dia ada loop, gelong and multiple edges bilang tepi, maksudnya dia bukan simple graph. Yeah, it means this is not a simple graph. Okay, because simple graph cannot have loops or multiple edges. So if it has loops and multiple edges, it means it's not a simple graph. Okay, let's find out where's the loop and the multiple edges. So where's the loop? I see it. Where's the loop? This one. And where's the multiple edges? This one. Right? Is there any other multiple edges? I don't think so. So this is the loops, multiple edges. Okay, now what? Question 1, state the E. Okay, state the E means you list out all the edges. You senaraikan semua dia punya edge. And when you list this out, you have to open curly bracket and you have to write down all the edge. Okay, how do we write this edge? AE or EA? Dua-dua boleh. Nak tulis AE pun boleh, EA pun boleh. Because dia tak ada direction, dia tak ada arrow. So, you want write AE also can, EA also can. And cara kita tulis is like this. Open bracket, A, comma, E. And then tutup bracket. For the next edge, you can write AB, bracket A, comma, B macam tu. Ataupun BA pun boleh. And then for this, open a new bracket, B, comma, E like that. Okay, for the loop, how? Okay, for the loop will be EE ah. Because it starts from vertex E and then it go back to vertex E. And we count this as one edge. Satu tepi. Loop ni kita kira sebagai satu tepi. Okay, next one is this edge. So you can write ED, D, and then the next one is this one, maybe EC. Okay, this one you can write BC or CB also can. But kalau dia ada arrow, then you have to follow the order of the. You have to make sure you write in the correct order if they have the arrow. Okay, DC you have to write 2 times. Why 2 times? Because multiple edges. So DC 2 times. Okay, is that all? Okay, yeah, I potong everything ready. So these are all the E, the H. Okay. Okay, now it's time to find the number of degrees. Okay, they never say degree of which vertex, so we can assume it's the sum. It's the sum of degree of all vertex. So the sum of degree of all vertex ada satu formula yang kita boleh guna 2 times NE. 2 times with the number of edges. So how many edges? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So 9 times 2, 18. So that's the number of degrees. Okay. Okay. If you want to find the degree of one vertex, you will count it. You will count like this. So like go to vertex A, the degree will be the number of lines yang connected to that vertex. Okay. So again, what is degree? Degree of vertex means the number of lines connected to that vertex. So the degree for A will be 1, 2. And then for B, it will be 1, 2, 3. But this question, they ask for the sum. So you have to take all the degree, add together. So I'll count it quickly for you. So for A is 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5 for B. And then for C is 6, 7, 8, 9. And then for D is 10, 11, 12. And then this is 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. That's why the answer is 18. Okay. The loop, we actually count it as 2 degree. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's why for E, there will be 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the loop is 2 degree. So it's like the loop is 2 and then 3, 4, 5, 6. And if you add all the degree, you memang get 18. Okay. Yeah, but we straight, kalau in the exam, they ask for sum of degree. Usually we just do the formula. Yeah, because it's faster. Okay. Okay, that's all. All right, 11B, what is this? Table 7 shows the club and society for a group of students in school. So you have club and society, BM, BI, English, Mathematics, apa pelancongan. Pelancongan punya society pun ada. Okay, and then chess, entrepreneur. And then name of student, okay, Shah, Mira, Kimi, Ika, blah, blah, blah. Okay, based on table 7, draw a simple graph. Okay, this type of question, okay. So for this type of question yang suruh lukis graph, you kena tengok betul-betul whether it's a directed graph or undirected graph, and also check whether it's a weighted graph or unweighted graph. Okay, and I'll tell you now, dia soalan just cakap simple graph saja. That means we just draw a simple graph lah. What is a simple graph? Simple graph is graph yang tak ada loops, tak ada multiple edges lah. And I don't think there will be arrow later. I don't think it will be direction, because this one is like society mana ada direction. Okay, so macam mana? First, we need to determine what to use for the vertex and what we want to use for the edges. Because when we draw graph, dia akan ada vertex, which is the dot, the bucu, and then the edge, the tepi. Okay, let's count got how many club and society. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 different clubs. How many different students you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, Okay, this one to repeat. So 5, 6, 7. Okay, definitely more than 6. Yeah, definitely more than 6, right? Okay, usually we will jadikan the one yang sikit, jadikan dia vertex. Yeah. So you have 6 different clubs, but you have how many students? Okay lah, let's count it lah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This one sudah kira. Ravi. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No. 9. Sudah. 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 And then sudah. Farah. Sudah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so there's 8 students. 8 students and 6 clubs. So which one you nak jadikan vertex and which one you nak jadikan edges? Okay, usually the one yang sikit kita jadikan vertex. The one yang sikit we jadikan vertex. Okay. So 6 and 8, which one smaller? Which one has a lesser end? The end is smaller for the club, right? So it means later you jadikan you punya vertex represents the club, and then the edges you use the edges to represent the students. Okay, so the first dot I will write BM, but they said use the big B to represent Malay, so that's the Malay big B. Now it's time to check siapa yang suka BM. So you have Shah, Mira, Kimi, Ika. So Shah, actually her name appear dua kali tau. Dia suka BM and also another subject which is mathematics. That means I have to draw a line from BM from B to mathematics M, and then the line I have to write Shah. So this is how you represent in a graph. It means Shah dia suka B for BM and M for mathematics. Macam tu. Okay. And then make sure I tong macam tu lah. Supaya kita uh, it means now we know that okay, Shah sudah settle. Okay, next one kita tengok yang Mira. So Mira suka BM and mana Mira? Satu lagi Mira dekat mana? Dekat sini, C chess. So B I have to join to another club which is C. So I will just draw down. So this is the chess. Okay. Remember, the vertex cannot use to write name. You have to use to write the club. Okay. So C is the chess club. And the H, that one used to write the student's name. So Mira. Okay, so potong. Potong. Next one is Kimi. Kimi. Kimi no Tori na 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 Okay, Kimi is B for BM, and dia also suka I for English. So from B join to I. So I will just draw up this time, and the dot have to use to write the subject ataupun the club I English, and then the line here you write the name Kimi, and then Ika dia suka B and K. So B and K. So B dekat sini. So K nak letak mana? Okay, maybe on the left lah. So this is the what K. K for keusahawanan. Okay, entrepreneur. And then this one the line is Ika. Okay, so sudah siap ini semua orang. Sekarang kita check the next person which is Chin. Okay, Chin dia ada dua club juga. I for English and P for pelancong. So IP lah. So I is here, but I have to join to another club which is P. So I'll just draw it here lah. Okay. So P for pelancong, and then the name is Chin. Okay. Next one is Amar. So Amar is I and M. So I dekat sini M. Oh, I can just join it like that. Done. So Amar. Next one is Farah. I and K. So IK. Okay, sudah ada dua vertex ni. So just join. Of course, if you use ruler, better lah. Okay, and then write Farah. Okay, apa lagi? Ravi. M and C. Mathematic chess. So mathematic chess. So this one. Ravi. Okay, anything else? Nina. Logan Paul's wife. Nina Agdor. Okay, out of topic. Let's continue. Mathematic and P. So MP. So this one. Okay, done. Nina. Okay, is there anyone left? Done. Okay, everything done already lah. So draw a simple graph. This is your simple graph, and make sure you label everything nicely. And all the edges you got write the name of the student lah. If you don't write the name, then how you supposed to represent the apa? If you don't write the name, then you can't represent this table already. Yeah, you have to make sure you write the name for the edge on the edges, and make sure you write the club for the vertex. Okay, this work 3 marks, so that's all. Okay, let's do see what is this. Also same yeah, it's still the same question, so it's still graph theory. Diagram 6 shows an undirected weighted graph. Undirected means no direction. Weighted means there will be a value assigned to all the edges. Okay, yeah, each edges will be assigned a value, and the value will represent some information. It could be distance or price or anything. Okay, so weighted graph representing a pipe network between 5 locations, namely A, B, C, D, E. So A, B, C, D, E is the vertex. The length of each pipe in kilometers is shown on the side. So now we know what all this number represents. So this is weighted graph. That means the other number, there will be a number, there will be a value assigned to each edge. And the number represents length of pipe in kilometers. So all of this is in km and is the length of the pipe. Okay, number one, draw two trees with minimum and maximum weight. Okay, first you're gonna understand what is tree. If you don't know what is tree, then you cannot do this question. So let's talk about tree. What is tree? Pokok. But what does it mean in the mathematic context? So in tree in mathematics, it means what? So first of all, you need to understand tree is actually a subgraph. Yeah, tree is actually subgraph. And what is subgraph? Subgraph means is the part of the whole part of the graph, or is the whole graph redrawn. Okay, so I repeat one more time. What is tree? Tree is part of the graph. So later the tree you draw has to be part of this, or it can also be the whole graph redrawn. Yeah, so that's what we call a subgraph, right? But tree is a subgraph, but at the same time it has these four characteristics. First one, it has to be a simple graph, meaning no loops and no ME, multiple edges lah. Second characteristic, it has to be, oh my god, I forgot. Oh, all vertices are connected. All vertices must be connected. It means cannot have isolated vertex. Yeah, cannot have one vertex that is like separated from the rest. So it has to be all vertices connected. Third one is the number of edges has to be NV minus 1. Okay, and then the last one is no cycle. Cycle means kitaran. Kitaran is like this one lah. Like this is cycle. This means cycle. So tak boleh ada cycle. Okay, now with that being said, now we can try to draw our first tree. Okay, they want to draw two. One with the minimum weight, one with the maximum weight. Okay, this type of question, I usually teach student. Okay, usually I teach student like this. I will ask them to count for. Okay, this is the master graph. Yeah, this is the master graph. And let's count out the NV and the NE for the master graph first. Okay. And after I count this, then I check how many edges I have to erase. So that's how I teach my students. So NV got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the 5, right? But your NE got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? So tell me, is this master graph a tree? The answer is no. Because for it to be 3, the number of edges has to be NV minus 1. So the NE, the edges, has to be 4. Has to be 4. Okay. But now it's 7 lah. So you have to erase how many edges? 7 have to minus 3 to get 4, right? That means I have to erase off 3 edges. Okay. So now get the tree with minimum weight. I have to erase 3 edges. But you will erase which edge? The edge with the highest value lah. Because you want minimum. So of course you will erase the tree with the highest value. Okay. And after you erase the highest value, you check whether you end up with a tree or not. If you get a tree, it means that's the answer. But if you erase the tree highest value, but you don't get the tree, that means you have to ambil balik the last edge you erase, and then erase another edge lah. Okay, let me show you what I'm trying to explain here. So minimum, so you erase the 3 edge with the highest value. So 7, that's the highest one. 6 is the second highest. 5, there is 2, right? So you can choose which one to erase, right? But I'll tell you now, you should erase this. You know why? Because if you erase this, it will not be a tree. Because if you, yeah, you can see if you erase this, you will end up something like this, like this, like this, like this, like this, and then like this. And the E is not connected. But I told you, right, the vertex must all be connected for it to be tree. So like this cannot. And also there's a cycle. If you draw like that, there's a cycle. Okay. So now you understand why I have to erase this. Okay. And enough. You only erase 3H. And as you can see, you end up with a tree because all vertices are connected. And then the NE is NV minus 1. And then there's no cycle. And then it's simple graph. So there you have it. That's your first answer. So let's draw this out. A join to C, C join to D, and D join to B, and then go down E. Okay. So even though I erased the 3 lines, but yeah, it's 3 lah. That's the answer. Okay, let's write the number 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now I have to draw the second tree, and the second tree needs to have the maximum weight. So I repeat the same process lah. But this time I also have to erase 3 edges, but I have to choose 3 edges with the smallest value to get the maximum. Okay? So which 3 edges has the smallest value? 2 is the smallest, 3 is the second smallest, 4 is the third smallest. Now, after you erase the 3 edges, you end up with only 4 edges left. So you can tell, so now your NE is NV minus 1. But you also have to check whether it's a simple graph, and then also it cannot have cycle, and then also all vertices connected. And as you can see, this is not a tree, because if you draw this graph, you end up getting something like this, like this, like this, like this, which also have cycle, it already have cycle, so cannot. And also the C is isolated. Yeah, I told you already, the tree cannot have isolated vertex. So what I have to do, I have to erase other edge lah. So just now I erased 2 because that's the smallest, 3 because that's the second smallest, 4 is the third smallest, right? So what you do is you will connect the 4 because that's the last one you erase. That's the third smallest. And then you erase the next smallest. So what is the smallest value after 4? 5 lah. So now you have the choice between erasing this or erasing this, right? So which one you want to erase? Okay, if I erase this, will I get a 3? No, because this is there's a cycle here. What if I erase this? Will I get a 3? No also, because the C is isolated, and also it doesn't connect to C. Okay, you have to make sure it connects to all vertex. So I realize I cannot erase the 4, I cannot erase the 5. Then why not I try erasing the 6? Cannot also, because the C is also isolated. What if I erase the 7? Cannot also, because got cycle. And also the C is stuck there. That means I have to maybe erase the 4, but mm, for the 3, okay, I want maximum, right? Maximum means I erase the smallest. So I think I will the 2 I don't want to erase lah. The 2 I don't erase. Instead the 2 because I want to join to C ma, right? So if I want to join to C, I will not erase this. Instead I erase which one? Okay, no. Actually, you should erase the 3. Okay, let me explain. Actually, you want the C to be connected because the C is isolated. So one of these line has to be there. Either you take this line or take this line, right? But which line better? If you want maximum, of course, the 3 is better. Yeah, the 3 is better because if the 3 join here, between 2 and 3, which one higher? You choose the one, yeah, maximum. So that's why it's better to take this line. So it's better to erase this, and then the 3 stay there like that. Okay. Okay, now I can erase one more line. Yeah, because I can erase three edges, right? So which line you can erase? Two. Okay, the three I need to be needs to be there. Otherwise, the C will be isolated, which is not good. So the two and four, which one is maximum? The two five, right? But if I erase this five, then is it a three? Yeah, it's a three. And the total weight will be 6 plus 5 plus 10, which is 21. But I want maximum. Maximum. Okay lah, yeah lah. Hey, what if I erase this 5? Because they have the same value, right? Will you get a 3? 6 plus 5 plus 10, also 21. And it's also a 3. Because it has no... Yeah, because dia ada ikut 4 syarat ni lah. There's no cycle and then also all vertices connected. So I think there's two answer. There's two answer for the maximum weight graph. Yeah, you can do it two ways. Okay. Okay, macam mana tadi? Yang ni. Okay, for the 5 you can choose which one. Yang mana-mana. Okay, both also. Erase this one also can. The other one also can. So let me draw it out for you. A to B. So it'll be like this. And then like this to D. Like this to C. So this is 6 plus 5 plus 7 plus 3. This is one of the answer. Okay. And the other answer will be A to B. And then A to D like this. And then C to E. This is also one of the answer. B, A, and this one is 6. This one is 5. 6, 5. Okay, why both answer is correct? Because both also the weight is the same. 6 plus 5 plus 3 is plus 7. This one also 6 plus 5 plus 8, and both is 3. Okay. Yeah. So you can choose one. You can choose one. Okay. Okay. So that's all for question 1. Question 2. Calculate the minimum cost of a park network if the cost per meter is 12 ringgit 70 cents. Okay, if I want to find minimum cost, first I need to know the minimum length in kilometer first, right? Yeah, in meter actually, not kilometer, because this one is per meter, right? But if you read carefully, they says the length of each pipe in kilometer is shown on the side. Oh, very sneaky, eh? Here they mention the length in kilometers, but the cost 12.70 is the cost per meter. So later have to convert to meter lah. Okay, let's find out the minimum length in km first. The minimum length will just be this. Because remember, this is the tree with the minimum weight, right? So the minimum length will be 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. But take note, here the unit have to be careful. This will be in km. And it will be 14. Okay. 2 plus 3, 5 plus 5, 10 plus 4, 40. So that's the minimum length in kilometers. Now we want to find the minimum cost. Okay, minimum cost. Okay, they give you 12 ringgit 70 cent. That is the price for 1 meter. But now you have how many meters? 14 kilometer times 1000 to get in meters. And then multiply with RM 12.0 per meter. And when you take meter times RM per meter, you cut, you left with RM lah. Okay. Yeah, so now it's time to press all this. So what is 14,000 times with 12.7? So 177,800. So that is the answer. All right. Okay, number 12. What chapter is this? Transformation. Form 5, chapter 5. The transformation chapter. Okay, diagram 7 shows a few polygons drawn on the Cartesian plane. Okay, yeah, I see many polygons here. List two pairs of triangles which are congruent. Two pairs means you have to tulis dua pasangan. Okay, the first triangle that are congruent, I can see it easily. Yeah, this one and this one. It's very clear, right? So just choose the obvious one lah. So the first one is EFG. Okay, I write here. EFG and EHI. Okay, the two triangle that are congruent. Okay, but I have to take another pair. So another pair you can take what? I think this one lah. Yeah, these two also congruent, right? Same. Oh, I forgot to tell you what is congruent. Congruent means same shape, same size. Yeah, I just assume that you all know. That's why I didn't explain it at first. Okay, congruent, same shape, same size. Huh? Okay, so these two also same shape, same size. So you can write AJE and EGDEK. Okay. Okay, that's enough because they only ask for two pairs. So that's it. Okay, scroll down. Okay, B. Diagram 8 shows three pentagons. A, B, C, D, E. Where is it? A, B, C, D, E. Okay, the big one. A, F, G, H, I. Okay, that's the small one. This one. And then AJKLM, which is this one, drawn on the Cartesian plane. And you can see they already draw all the object and image nicely for you. So definitely later they will ask you to describe. Okay, but you have to read the next line carefully because they will tell you who's the image and who's the object. And if you don't label nicely, then it will affect your answer later, right? So we need to know who's the object image. So we have to read this line very carefully. DJKLM is the image of ABCDE under combined transformation PQ. Okay, stop here. Separate image, separate object. DJKLM is the image of ABCDE under two transformation PQ. It means there will be two arrow and DJKLM is the final image after the two transformation PQ. That means ABCDE will sit here. And then the two arrow will be the PQ lah. Okay, if they say transformation PQ means you do Q first, followed by P. So the first arrow is transformation Q, second arrow is P. Then what about the middle one? Okay, you have three pentagons. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, F, G, H, I, A, J, K, L, M. And you already know the A, J, K, L. Wait. This one is A. I think they made a mistake here. Yeah, this one is A, J, K, L, M. So A, J, K, L, M and the A, B, C, D, E, you already know A, B, C, D, E is the first object. And then AJKLM is the final image. So automatic, the FGHI, that one will be automatic, the one in the middle. Okay. In other words, ABCDE, the big one, is the object, including this part. The whole thing here, that's the object. Then what is the first image? AFGHI, this one, which is the I1. And then the AJKLM, that's the I2, the second image, or you can say the final image. Okay. Oh, one more thing. You can see that your I1, your first image, is actually part of the object. Yeah, it's actually part of the object. It's like inside the object. Okay? It means they are overlapping each other. Okay, so now mesti they'll ask you to describe transformation P and transformation Q. Okay, let's go. So I will describe down here. So transformation P is blah 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 blah, and then transformation Q is blah 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 blah. Okay. Okay, now we will try to determine the transformation. There's four transformation you learn. First is translation. Next is reflection. And then next thing you learn rotation, taran, rotation, and then the last one is pembesaran, enlargement. Okay. And when you're trying to describe, you usually check the size first. Because if the size is different, if the size of object and size of image is different, then automatic, you don't have to think really. Automatic is enlargement. Okay. But when you describe, you cannot just write enlargement. You have to write down the isi penting. So for example, like enlargement, you have to write down the center and the scale factor. Yeah, those are the isi penting. If you want to get full mark, you have to write the write the two things. Okay, so now tell me, what is transformation Q? From A, B, C, D, E to A, F, G, H, I. That's why you have to draw this arrow lah, guys. Imagine if you don't have this arrow. Then what will happen? You might make careless mistake. Maybe for the transformation P, you go and write the Q punya, and then for Q you write the P punya. Then wrong, the whole thing wrong di. So Q is from A B C D E to A F G H I. A B C D E is the big one. A F G H I is this small one. So it's very obvious lah. This one is definitely enlargement. But I told you, if you want to get full mark, you have to write down the isi penting. And for enlargement, there's two things you must always write: the center of enlargement and then the K scale factor. Okay, the enlargement center will be at where? Okay, if you want to find enlargement center, it's very simple. Just draw lines. Okay, but if there is a point that never change place when you enlarge, that means that's the center. So for example, you can see the D after enlarge is H, E after enlarge is I, C after enlarge is G, B after enlarge is F, A after enlarge is also A. So that one is definitely the center at A. Okay, but of course if you want to join line can also lah. Just join, and then look for the intersection. You will get same also. You get same also. So transformation P is what? Enlargement. And then at center, okay, I recommend you to write A, but not only that, write the coordinate also. 2 0 like that. So that your teacher don't have any excuse, any alasan to tolak you punya markah. Just write complete. Okay, after that, the center you have to write with scale factor. Okay, scale factor. Okay, the formula to find scale factor is what? Okay, the scale factor formula is K equals length of image divide length of object. Okay, so you can take length of image bahagi length of object, and you can take any length you want. Just make sure you divide with the corresponding length lah. Okay. Okay, so what is the length of image? Okay, this one I don't like it because it's like very sengit. This one line also sengit. Okay, maybe I can take the length of this. Yeah, because it's easy to calculate, right? Yeah, because it's like just horizontal one kotak. So that's the length of image one. And then what about the length of object? It will be from A to B, which is two, which is 2 unit. So length of image is one, length of object is two. So the scale factor is 1/2. Not 2/1, is 1/2. Okay, because you have to take image divide object. So you have to take the AF divide AB, because this is the image of enlargement. This is the object, so it has to be AF bahagi AB, not AB bahagi AF. That's why the arrow very important. That's why whenever I teach my student, I always scold them if they don't do the arrow. Because some student they always skip this step one. They always want to do fast and then do wrong. Careless. Okay, now we are done. So just write down the scale factor 1/2. Oh, one more thing. When you write scale factor, check whether you need to letak negative or not. So when do you have to letak negative? When your object and image is inverted, is terbalik, and also your object image is on the different side from the center. Okay, but this one no need put negative lah, because the center is here, the object and image of enlargement are on the same side, and also the object image tak ada terbalik, tak ada inverted, so that's why tak ada negative. Tapi ada soalan yang kena letak negative. Okay, so that one you have to be careful. Okay, transformation Q is what? Oh my god, I wrong already. I wrong already. This one is Q mah. Oh my god. So this one is Q. Ini baru P, right? So make sure in exam you don't make the mistake like me. And let me tell you how I realized my mistake. It's because of this arrow. Yeah. This arrow is very helpful because it shows everything, right? So A B C D E, yang ni buat enlargement dulu jadi ni. Okay, now I will describe P here. So it's from A F G H I to A J K L M. So it's from this I1 to I2 lah. Okay, from I1 I2 is definitely not enlargement because they are same size. Okay, I1 and 2 same size. So that leaves us with what? That leaves us with translation, reflection, or rotation. And out of these three, which one is the easiest to check? Easiest to check which one? Translation, right? Because translation is basically you just take the shape and then you just drag left to right, up, down like that. And when you do translation, the orientation will not change. When you do translation, the image of translation will have the same orientation as the object. Okay, so if you look at these two shapes, do they have the same orientation? The answer is no, because if you look at this tajam punya part, is facing down, bottom right. Can you see it's facing bottom right? But if you look at the I2, the tajam part is facing here, which is the top left. So it means it's not translation because the orientation changed. So that leaves us with the reflection and rotation. And I got teach you all one, yeah, for my own student, I got teach them one method to determine whether it's reflection or rotation. You draw lines. You draw lines. You draw lines and you join all the corresponding point. And if all the lines are parallel, then it's reflection. And if you join lines, if all the lines intersect at one point nicely like that, then it's a rotation 180. And that intersection is the center of rotation. Okay. But what if it's not like that? It's not parallel and it doesn't intersect, all the points doesn't intersect nicely at one point. Then it's definitely rotate 90 lah. Okay. Rotate 90, usually the line is like very messy one. Yeah, you will not get all parallel lines, or you will not get intersection. Even have intersection also, the intersection is like all over the place. Yeah, it doesn't have one intersection, it has like two intersection or three intersection. Okay. So now what I will do, join line lah. Okay, so let's take out our ruler. Okay, A confirm join back to A. Yeah, because the corresponding point for A is A also, so that one no need to join. Okay, for I you have to join where? For I you have to join. Okay, you can see from A is like, I is like somewhere in the middle of the box. So which point is like somewhere in the middle of box M, right? So I Dia punya kawan baik is M. Okay. And then F, kawan baik dia J. Okay. And then G join to, okay, this one is like 2 1 unit. So 2 1 block. Which one is the 2 1 block? K lah. Like that. And then H is like join to G punya. So L lah. L with H like that. And then M with I. Okay. So I'm done drawing all the lines. And as you can see, all the lines intersect nicely at one point. Semua titik, semua garisan dia intersect dekat sini. So tell me which case, reflection or rotation? Rotation lah. And it's how many degree? 180. So definitely can write rotation. But I told you you have to write the ECC penting. Okay, for rotation dia punya ECC penting ada 3. You kena tulis berapa degree, the angle, whether it's 90 degree or 180. And then also you have to write the direction, clockwise or anti-clockwise. Tapi kalau 180 tak tulis pun tak apa. And then the last thing you have to write is the center of rotation. Okay, but the center of rotation no need to find it. Yeah, because it's I told you, right, the intersection, that's the center of rotation. So as you can see, the center of rotation is A also. That means the center of rotation and the center of enlargement is the same point. Okay, so rotation berapa degree? 180 degree. Clockwise or anti-clockwise doesn't matter, because 180 you don't have to write the clockwise and anti-clockwise. But I recommend writing it also lah. Just write either one. Cincai nak tulis clockwise pun boleh, anti-clockwise pun boleh, because 180 lah. Okay, last thing you have to write is the center. So I write about center. Okay, now you write the center rotation, and we all know already what's the center at A lah, 20. Okay, because all the lines intersect at A. Okay, okay, that's how you get full mark for the described punya soalan. Okay, okay, what if it's a rotate 90 degree? Then the lines will be very messy, and you will need compass, and you have to do two perpendicular bisector. After you join all the lines, choose any of the two lines that is not parallel, and then do perpendicular bisector, and the intersection of the two perpendicular bisector will be the center of rotation for 90 degree lah. So that's how lah. And also kalau dia rotation 90 the clockwise anti-clockwise you tak boleh cincai tulis. That one you cannot just cincai tulis. Kalau rotate 90 you have to make sure you write the clockwise or anti-clockwise, depends on the question lah, and you have to double check and see which one is the correct one. But 180 is easy because you have the center of rotation there. You don't need compass, and then also you don't have to worry about the direction. Okay, okay. Hope you get it. Now we can do question 2. Given that the area, okay, the moment I see the word area, immediately I know which formula. AI equals to K square times AO. Remember, in this chapter, transformation, whenever they mention area, mesti this formula one, mesti. Okay, so I don't even care what the soalan give, automatic confirm will be using this formula. And the K I already know, that's the scale factor 1 over 2 square. Okay, now they will either give you AI suruh cari AO, or maybe give you AO suruh cari AI, or maybe sometimes they want the shaded region area. Okay, so let's see what they want. Area of pentagon AJKLM is 4.125. Tell me, the 4.125 is image of enlargement or object? AJKLM. So that's the final image, right? Is here. That's the final image. So that will be the AI. So AI, I write 4.125 unit square. So now I can find my AO. And my AO will be what? It won't be this, huh? It won't be this. It will be the big one, ABCDE. Because AJKLM is this one. So this area is 4.125. And guess what? This is also 4.125. Why they are the same area? Because their rotation of each other. When you rotate, the size never change. So that's why I said this and this will have the same area. Okay. Okay, can I find the area of object now? Yes. But they want area of shaded region, right? But it's okay. Let's find the area of object first. So how to find the AO? So 1 over 2 square is 1 over 4. And then pindah jadi times 4. So 4.125 times 4, you get 16.5. Okay, this 16.5 unit square will be the area of object, which is ABCDE, the big one, right? So it's for this. But they only want shaded region. And if you look at the shaded region, dekat mana dia lorek? The shaded region is only here. So I have to take the whole area object minus with the I1. I have to take the area of object minus with the I1. That means the area of shaded region will be 16.5, which is the area for the whole object, minus with the I1. But the I1 and I2 have the same area, 4.125. So now just minus and you'll get the answer. Okay, 12.375 and the unit we will ikut balik dengan yang dia bagi dekat sini. Unit square. If sini dia bagi cm then you ikut lah cm. Kalau dia bagi m you ikut m. Okay. Alright, that's all. Sudah siap. Alright, let's do 13. So let's read the question. Table 8 shows the push-up data performed by 80 students for SEGA test at SMK 3 Cemerlang in May. So 80 is the total frequency lah. And also this is which chapter? It's the Form 5, chapter 7. It's called Measures of Dispersion for Group Data. How I know is this chapter is from this, yeah, from this. Because this is called a class. So when they give you class, then confirm it's group data. Okay. Okay, so let's try and tambah semua frequency and see whether I get 80 or not. Let's see whether dia ada tipu kita ke tak. Okay. Plus 13, plus 19, plus 20, plus 15. Okay, yes, I already tried adding all the frequency. Memang dapat 80 lah for the total frequency. Okay, now we can start to do A. Based on table 8, A1 state the size of class interval and the range of the data. So how to find the size of class? Okay, there is a formula to find size of class. You take the upper boundary minus the lower boundary. Okay, so the size of class, I can take the upper boundary minus the lower boundary. Okay, you can choose any class you want. Okay, let's say I take 6 to 10 lah. So I need to find out the lower boundary of this class and I need to find the upper boundary. Yeah. Okay, another method to do it is you use your finger to count it. Like 6 to 10, right? So you use your finger 1, 2, 3, 4. This is your hand. And then you count it like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It means the size of class is 5. Okay. But don't do 10 minus 6. If you do 10 minus 6, it will be wrong. If you do 10 minus 6, you will get 4. And yeah, that's wrong. Okay. Or you can also use the formula I just show you. Upper boundary minus lower boundary. Okay, how to get the upper boundary? 10 plus 11 divided by 2, that gives us 10.5. And then 6 plus with the last number, which is 5, divided by 2 is 5.5. Now you take 10.5 minus 5.5 and you get 5. Yeah, so this is the correct answer. Okay. Okay, if you do using another class also, you will get same. Yeah, because all the size of all these class will be the same. Okay. Yeah. All right, now let's continue with A2. No, I haven't finished yet. They asked us to find range also, right? Yeah, the A1, they asked to find size of class and the range. So let's find the range now. Okay, range in BM is called ULAT. So how to find range? The formula for range is maximum value minus minimum value. But if it's a group data, you have to take the midpoint of the highest class minus the lowest class. Because your data is now, they give class. Yeah, your data, they give class, right? Okay, frequency is the F. So if they give you in class, you need to use one number to represent the smallest class and use one number to represent the highest class. And then minus, right? And we will use the midpoint. We will use the midpoint. So let's find out the midpoint of the highest class, 36. How to find midpoint? Just take the lower limit plus the upper limit divided by 2. And then the lowest class is 6 to 10. And the midpoint, we find it by taking 6 plus 10, then divide by 2. Okay, 36 plus 40 divided by 2. What do you get? 76 divided 2. I guess that's 38. Okay, you wait for me. I use calculator. Yeah, so you get 38. So you just write it there, 38. And then for the other one is 6 plus 10 divided 2, which is 16 divided 2, 8. And then your range will comes out 30. Okay, 30. Okay, now we can continue. Okay, what's next? Question 2, complete the table 9 in the answer space. All right, let's go to the answer space. Table 9. All right, this is the table. Okay, so let's complete the table. So how to find upper boundary? You will take the upper limit plus with the next number divided by 2. So 10 plus 11 divided by 2 is 10.5. Next one, same thing. 15 plus 16 divided by 2. So 15.5. Next one is 20 plus 21. And then divide by 2, 20.5. And then do the same, 25.5, 30.5, 35.5. And then the last one is 40 plus with the next number 41 divided by 2, 40.5. Okay, this is not very hard. That's all. Now for the cumulative frequency. Okay, this one we have to look at the frequency and we have to plus lah nanti. So the first cumulative frequency and the first frequency will always be the same. But the next one you have to take 8 plus with the last cumulative, which is 5. So you get 13. Okay, and then to get here, you have to take 13 plus with the 13 here. So 26. And then 26 plus 19, you write here and then keep going lah. Okay, 26 plus 19, 45. And then 45 plus 20, 65 plus 12, 77, and then plus 3 you get 80. Okay, and 80 is the total frequency because they mention it in the soalan tadi kan, here, right? Okay, so now I'm done with this, completing the table. Now for question B, using a scale of 2 cm to 5 unit on horizontal axis, it means your x-axis has to do 2 cm to 5. But you don't go and do 5, 10, 15, 20 like that. No, it's wrong. It's wrong. In this chapter, you should always check what they want you to draw. For this case, it's ogive, right? So you cannot go 5, 10, 15. You have to start from the first upper boundary because when you draw ogive, you have to memorize, right? For ogive, the x-axis you must use upper boundary, and then the y-axis you must use cumulative frequency. And ogive must start with 0. And if the first cumulative frequency is not 0, then you have to tambah satu class yourself, right? So later, when you do the x-axis punya scale, you cannot go 5, 10, 15. No, no, no. You cannot. You have to start with the first class punya upper boundary. Then only you plus 5. Yeah, in this chapter is like that. Okay. Then what about the y-axis? Okay, the y-axis you can follow. 2 cm to 10 on vertical axis, that one you can follow. Then just go 10, 20, 30 until the highest cumulative lah. But if I'm not mistaken, it's 10, 80. Yeah, because the total frequency is 80, right? Yeah, the total cumulative is 80, like that. Okay. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is find out this number right here. Okay, yeah. Before I go and draw the graph, I cannot draw graph first. I need to find out this number right here. I need to know what to write here. I already said cannot write 5, 10, 15. If you write 5, 10, 15 later, you cannot plot. Yeah, because I told you already, ogive will use upper boundary. That's why you have to memorize lah. For ogive, you use upper boundary for the x-axis, cumulative frequency for the y-axis, right? So how to get this first number? Well, you have to write the upper boundary of the first class. But will you write 10.5? The answer is no, because when the upper boundary is 10.5, the cumulative is 5. We want the first y coordinate to be 0. We want the first point. I told you already, the ogive must start at 0. That means I have to tambah satu class myself before the first, before here. So I need to tambah satu class myself, right? So how to tambah? Okay, you tengok atas bawah like this. So 6, macam mana nak dapat 11? Just tekan 11 minus 6, you get 5, right? It means from here to here plus 5, plus 5, plus 5, plus 5, plus 5. So to get the last number, 6 minus 5, you get 1 lah. Here same also, 10 minus 5, you get 5. So this is the class yang saya kena tambah sendiri. And since this is the class yang saya tambah sendiri, the frequency would be 0. And the upper boundary will be 5 and 6. Plus together divide by 2, so 5.5. And the cumulative will be 0. Because this is the class yang saya tambah sendiri. And now we already know what we have to write here. It's 5.5. And we also know the scale for the y-axis. So now everything is good already. Now we can go to the graph and draw the axis. So 0, 5.5, 10. So 0. Okay, I'm gonna use the red color lah because I just want to make it more visible. So I'll start with 0 and then 5.5, 10.5. But I feel like it's not enough space. So I'm gonna do it from here. Yeah. Okay, so this is the first upper boundary, which is 5.5. Okay. And then here will be 10. And for the x-axis, they say 2 cm to 5, right? So after you write 5.5, now only you plus 5. Now only you plus 5, so it becomes 10.5. Okay. 10.5, which is the next upper boundary. And then the next upper boundary, you plus 5. 15.5, 20.5, 30.5. Oh my god. 20. This one wrongly. 25.5. And then this is 30.5, 35.5. And then 40.5 is the last upper boundary. Okay. And then the axis. So this is the x-axis. Okay. And then for the y-axis will be 10, 20, 30 until 80. Yeah. 20, you have to cover until 80 because the highest cumulative is 80. So 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. And then the axis like that. Okay, now what we need to write for the y-axis. Okay, we use cumulative frequency. So what do we write? At the y-axis here, we write cumulative frequency. So cumulative frequency. And then for the x-axis, we use upper boundary, but we cannot use cannot write upper boundary. We have to write what the data represents. It represents push-up, or you can say number of push-up. So you have to write here number of push-up. And if you don't have enough space here, you can always write down here. So you can write push-up. Okay. All right, now we can start to plot already. Okay, let's double check whether the x-axis, the last one is 40.5. So you can see I start with 5.5 and then I go until 40.5. Yeah, I already cover all the upper boundary value. Okay. And kenapa I have to tambah satu kelas sendiri is because my OGIF need to start from zero. Okay. If I start here, then my OGIF is like, yeah, it's flying already. It's like floating in the air. So we don't want that. We want our OGIF to start at zero. Okay. Bukan start at 5. That's why you have to tambah satu kelas sendiri. So remember, whenever asked to draw OGIF, you have to tambah satu kelas, make sure the first cumulative frequency is zero. Okay. But of course, if the first cumulative is already zero, then you don't need to tambah already lah. Okay. Okay, so let's continue. So let's plot the first point, 5.5, 0, 10.55. So 10.5, 5.5, 0. So this is the first point. And then 10.5 is 5. Okay, 0 and 10 middle is 5. So this is this is the point. Yeah, it's here. Okay. Okay, so next one. So this will be your x coordinate, this will be your y coordinate lah. Yeah, the x axis is upper boundary ma, and your y axis is cumulative. So you tengok sini, tengok sini. So the next one is 15.5, 13. Okay, so that when the x axis 15.5, y axis cari 13. Okay, 10 to 20, the difference here is 10. Yeah, from here to here, the difference is 10, right? So, and there's 10 box here. Ada 10 kotak kecil. So if you want to know one small box, you just tekan 10 divide 10 lah. So you get 1. It means naik satu kotak kecil tambah 1. Okay. So you want 13, right? So pergi 15.5 and then 10 you want 13. So plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. So here is 13. Okay, 11, 12, 13. Yeah. Okay. Now we are done with this. Now let's look at the next one. 20.5, 26. So 20.5 is here. And then 26 is just 30. Turun satu is 29. Turun 28. Turun 27. Turun 26. So it's here. Okay. Yeah, one kotak kecil is 1, right? 29, 28. Yeah, betul lah. Okay. Let's do it faster. After 46 is what? After 26 is what? 45, 65. Okay, I'm going to plot two at the same time. 45, 65, 25, 30. Okay, so it's here and here, right? And what's the data? 45, 65. So 45 is just 40, 50 middle. And make sure you plot at the 25.5. And then for 30.5, the cumulative is 60, 65. So it's here, 60 and 70 middle. Okay, 30.5, 65. Yeah, correct. Okay, for the last one is 35.5, 77. 35.5 is here. 77 is just 80. Turun satu is 89. Turun lagi 88. Turun lagi 87. So it's here. And then the last one, 40.5 is 80. Okay. Yeah. When the upper boundary is 40.5, the cumulative is 80. Okay, now we are done with all the points. Now we can draw the OGIF. Okay, when we draw, we have to use freehand. Cannot use the ruler, because this is a curve. So usually the OGIF, there will be a curve here and there will be a curve here. The middle is just a straight line. Yeah, the middle part of the graph is just a straight line. So usually I like to draw the curve part first. So let me draw the curve part. So it will be joining like something like this, right? Okay, so let me. Oh my God. So like tak cantik kan? So padam and do again lah. So your graph has to touch all the points. Okay. Okay, same here. That okay. Okay, something like that. Now we just join here like that. Okay, rest a bit here. Okay, maybe join from here. Okay, the last line. Yeah, something like that. Just make sure your graph, the curve and the graph is smooth. It's a smooth curve going like that. So it's like there's a curve here, and then there's another curve here. Okay. Okay, this is good enough. Now we can write the tajuk. Okay, after you done drawing the graph, always make sure you write these two things. First is the tajuk. So the tajuk is OGIF lah, because this is OGIF. And then the second thing is you have to check whether your x-axis, check whether the difference here and the difference here is the same or not. If it's not the same, then you have to put a symbol here. Okay. So as you can see, here plus 5, plus 5. But here to here is plus 5.5. But the rest here is plus 5, plus 5, plus 5. So you can see the x-axis sudah cacat already. So if sudah cacat means what you have to do? You have to put a symbol. Okay. Yeah, it means your x-axis sudah rosak already. Sudah rosak already. That's why you have to put this symbol like this, go up, go down, and then back up like that. Okay. We only need to put this symbol when the difference here and the difference here is not the same. Okay. Then we put this. Okay. So this is how you get full mark for the graph. Okay. All right. So let's look at the question one more time. B, draw the ogive. Okay, 4 marks. Okay, so that's it. Okay, for the last part, C, from ogive, find the 60th centile. Okay, how to do this? This is easy, ma. I remember teaching this recently to my own student. So 60th percentile means dia nak cari P60. Okay, the way I teach is you have to kosong satu baris dulu, and then write P60 equals, and what you have to write here? You have to write 60. Okay, they want P60, so it's 60 over 100, 60%, right? Times with the total frequency 80, and then you use calculator, you get 48. And then what you have to do is go to the cumulative frequency, you cari 48, and then tarik, like that. Okay, I'm gonna use black color lah. Okay, so for 48, right? Okay, 50 turun satu, 49 turun lagi 48. So it's here, and then you just draw a dotted line, or you can say dash line from here, and then the moment it touch the curve, so I can see that dia touch dekat sini. The moment it touch, you tarik bawah, and then when you tarik bawah, that will be your answer. Okay, okay, so this is the answer. So it's at 25.5 plus 1 kotak. Okay, how to know 25 plus 5? Okay, 25.5 plus 1 kotak is berapa? Okay, you can first find out the difference. You can first find out the difference from here to here. So from here to here, the difference is 5. Because 30.5 minus 25.5 is 5, right? And then you take 5 divide 10 to get 1 kotak. So 5 divided 10 is 0.5. So now we know 1 kotak here is 0.5. So you can tekan 25.5 plus 0.5, which is 26. Okay, so your P60 is 26. Okay, so yeah, that's the answer. All right, I'm done with this question. Let's continue. Okay, number 14. Encik Rahman owns a car for private use with an engine capacity of 1789 cc in Kota Baru. Okay, this is definitely from 5, the Rotax. So chapter 4, Cukai, right? Okay, don't confuse this with motor insurance. Yeah, a lot of students will confuse the Rotax and the motor insurance. Motor insurance is different. That one is much more harder one. That one have a lot of formula. Have to hafal the 26 ringgit for Semenanjung, 20 ringgit point 30 cents for Sabah Sarawak. That one is different. That one is motor insurance. Got comprehensive policy, third party policy, all that stuff lah. But for the Rotax, tak ada. For Rotax, it's easy one. Okay, you remember in Cukai, the only hard part is the income tax for Cukai. The Rotax, property assessment tax. The rest of the tax is like very straightforward one. There's no special formula now, no nothing. So this one is not difficult. It's not difficult if you compare it to the motor insurance lah. Okay, the engine capacity is 179 cc in Kota Baru. So 1789 cc belongs to which bracket? 1789 is this one, in between 1600 and 1800. So you can see the base rate is 200, and the progressive rate is 40 cent for each cc exceeding 1600. Calculate the Rotax. Okay, this is quite easy. So the base rate 200 plus with bracket. Okay, they said 40 cent for each cc exceeding 1600. It means for every cc yang melebihi 1600, you have to pay extra 40 cents. So what I have to do is take the 1789 minus with 1600, because I want to know how much dia exceed, how much dia sudah melebihi 1600, and then times with 0.40 for each cc yang melebihi 1600. So you just tekan this, you get your answer already. So RM 275.60, right in 2 decimal place, because it's RM. Yeah, that's all. This is only worth 2 marks. Okay, not too bad. Okay, let's do B. This one is income tax. Yeah, because I see chargeable income already. So I need to give you the income tax formula, but I will just open the Penang set and show you from the Penang set, because Penang also got one question about income tax. So let me just open it. I forgot where is it, but we'll find it eventually. Okay, where is it? Income tax. Uh, okay. Income tax, mana you, this one is matrix. Oh, it's here. Yeah, so it's question 17. No, no, no. Question, wait, what question is this? This one is A. Wait, I don't understand. Is this 17? Okay, it's 17 lah. I think it's 17. DCBA. Yeah, it's this question right here. Okay, but we will not focus on the question, we will just focus on the notes. Okay, and if you want the explanation for this paper, you can just go look it up on my YouTube. It's already uploaded, the Penang paper punya. Okay, so just focus on the notes. So this is the notes. So you can see to calculate income tax, step one, you find the chargeable income. How you find it? Take the total annual income minus tax exemption minus tax relief. Tax exemption usually they give in the form of donation. And then tax relief ada banyak lah, individual, KWSP, medical expenses, banyak lah. And then step 2 is refer the table. Take your chargeable income, answer, refer the table, and then dapatkan you punya base tax and balance tax from the tax rate table. And then step 3, take your base tax plus with your balance tax minus with rebate. And then rebate ada dua jenis. First is kena minus 400 only if your chargeable income does not exceed 35,000. Another rebate is the zakat, right? And there is also step 4. Step 4 is the PCB, but not all questions have PCB. I remember this question from Penang paper don't have PCB. So we just do until step 3 only lah. Okay, but the Kelantan one, I'm not sure. Let's check whether there's PCB in this question. So if we scroll down, okay, I see PCB. So definitely we have to do until step 4 later lah. And you can see there's all this arrow, right? What's the meaning? It means after you get your income tax answer here, you will minus with your PCB. Because PCB is also another type of potongan yang you kena minus. And if you minus, you get negative, that means you lebih bayar. It means the LHDN have to refund you. But if you minus, you get positive, that means you kurang bayar. Macam tu. Okay lah. So now I will start doing this question already. So let's read the question. Encik Rahman received an annual salary of 90,000. So this is the annual salary while his wife received an annual salary of 12,000 less than Encik Rahman. So let's find out the wife punya annual salary sekarang. 12,000 less than this. So just tekan 90,000 minus 12,000 lah. So the wife one will be 78,000. Okay. So I'll just write it here, 78,000. And this is also income for wife. Okay, they each donate 500 to charity approved by government. So 500 is definitely the tax exemption. Donation I just mentioned it just now. Exemption is 500, but they each donated. It means the Rahman will donate 500, the wife also donate 500. So in total is 1,000 lah. So later if you want to combine the two using joint tax assessment, kalau kita nak kira taksiran cukai bersama, it means like we want to, because they are married, right? So if they are married, we can kira gabungkan dua-dua orang punya exemption. So if we gabung dua-dua, dia akan jadi 1,000 lah. Okay, but it's okay. Let's read the whole thing first. The total zakat for both of them that year was 2,500. So 2,500 is already the total for both. Total for both, and it's the zakat, so it's the tax rebate TR. And then the total tax relief, it's confusing, because so I'll just write rebate lah. Yeah, because TR can stand for tax relief also. So I'll just call it rebate. Okay, the total tax relief claimed by Mr. Rahman and wife is 25,000 for the calculation of joint tax assessment. This is what I mean by joint tax assessment. Taksiran cukai bersama. It's when a couple is married and you gabung all their income, all their exemption, all their relief. It means you only do one calculation for joint tax assessment. For separate tax assessment is you calculate both separately. You do 2 times the calculation. You buat 2 kali calculation and then one for the husband, one for the wife. But bersama is like you gabung everything. Yeah, you combine everything. Okay, but the 25,000 is already for the Rahman and wife total tax relief. So they already gabung the tax relief. This is the value. Table 11 shows part of the individual tax rate for the year 2024. So this is the tax rate table. And you did this table after you get your chargeable income. On the step 2 lah. I told you in my notes. Yeah, in step 2 you have to refer the table. So this is the table lah. Okay, but it's okay. Let's read down here. Use the joint tax assessment. Calculate the taxable income. So, gunakan taksiran cukai bersama untuk menghitung pendapatan cukai. So, they want joint tax assessment. What's joint? It means you kena gabung all your husband and wife punya income dua-dua. Okay, and how to find chargeable taxable income? Okay, taxable income and chargeable income is the same thing. Okay, so what's the formula? Take the total annual income for both husband and wife combined minus with the total tax exemption for both husband wife, and also the total tax relief for both husband wife. Yeah, that's the formula for chargeable income. Come, I show you the formula one more time. Chargeable income, CI, take the total annual income minus total tax exemption minus total tax relief. Okay. Okay, let's start with the income. 90,000 plus 78,000. Okay. Yeah. 90,000 is for the husband, 78,000 is for the wife. But why we add them both is because it's joint tax assessment, it's bersama. So you can combine both their income. Okay. It means later we will do one calculation. Okay. Okay, so plus and then minus with, okay, 500 kena tolak dua kali lah because they each donated 500 for the charity. So the donation it will be tax exemption, but you have to minus 1,000 because they each donate. Means if you gabung dua-dua jadi 1,000. And then for the zakat, this one don't minus, you minus this wrongly. 2,500, that one is tax rebate. Tax rebate, you will not minus now. This one is you minus last kali baru you minus. So this one don't touch. And then the tax relief, 25,000 is already the total for both Rahman and wife. So the 25,000, and that's all right. Yeah, this is the last one. So minus 25,000. Okay, now we can tekan calculator and then we will get our answer from here. So it's RM 142,000. Okay. Yeah, that's all. Okay, now it says calculate the income tax of Mr. Rahman and his wife. Okay, this one we have to do until step 3 lah. Look at my notes. I show you one more time. So now you are done with step 1. Now we have to do step 2, step 3, and until step 3 you get your income tax already. So now is the next step. We have to refer table, get the base tax and the balance, and then step 3 is take the base plus balance minus rebate. And rebate you can check lah whether got zakat and the 400 or not. That's why just now I said the zakat don't minus. Remember I said the 2,500 jangan tolak dulu kan. Yeah, this is the reason why lah, because the 2,500 you minus at step 3. Yeah, it's step 3. Okay. Okay, so let's come back here. Now it's time to refer our table. Okay. So for the B working, I'll do it here. Okay, but when we refer the table, we will use the chargeable income answer. Okay, because if you look at the table, here it says chargeable income, right? And you already calculate it's 142,000. So it belongs to which bracket? This one. Between 100,000 and 400,000. Okay. So what you have to focus when you budget table, this one, and this one. The rest all rubbish. We don't care about the rest. Okay. So just tengok ni dengan ni cukup. Okay. So now we can get our base tax and the balance. Okay. Dalam bahasa Melayu, cukai dasar dan cukai baki. So what is the cukai dasar base tax? Okay, very easy. Just look at here. They says first 100,000 is 9,400 ringgit, right? Yeah, this one is in RM. So this is the cukai dasar, 9,400, because it's for the first 100,000. So this is definitely the base tax. Okay, but for the balance, you have to take the total chargeable income 142,000 minus with 100,000 first. Yeah, because the first 100,000 you already pay 9,400 to settle the first 100,000. So you have to minus to get the balance, and then the balance you times with 25%, like that. And if you press all this, you'll get the balance. Okay. Dalam bahasa Melayu is cukai baki. Okay, let's press this. What you get? 199,000. Okay. Okay, now for the step 3, you calculate your income tax. Now income tax. So let me open one more time the notes for you. Step 3, the income tax is what? Base tax plus balance tax minus rebate. And then rebate, you have to check for both. There's 2 types of rebate. You can check whether is whether they are eligible for the 400 or not, and then also check whether the question got mentioned about zakat or not, right? Okay, so let's continue. Income tax is base plus balance, so 9,400 plus with 199,000. Now I have to minus rebate. Okay. Okay, let's check for the 400 first. So in my notes says you will get rebate 400 if your chargeable income less than or equals 35,000. It means tak boleh melebihi 35,000 lah. So let's check what is my chargeable income. 100,000 lebih already. Yeah, it's already more than 35,000. So it means they will not get the rebate 400. Okay. And then let's check for zakat. And actually zakat ada, because you remember just now when I read the question, they mentioned about zakat, and it's already the total for both, which is 2,500. So I don't have to, they already combine for me lah, the husband and wife punya total zakat. So I don't have to combine myself. So this is already the total for both. So now we can just tekan all this, then we'll get our answer. Okay. All right. So wait, I think I made a mistake. Yeah, I definitely made a mistake. This one is not. Yeah, this is wrong. So let me press one more time. 100,000 times 0.25. Okay, this one is wrong already. So let me correct myself here. This one is 10500, and then this is also wrong. It's 10500. Okay, now answer plus 9400 minus 2500. Okay, the answer is 17400. Okay, so RM 174,000. I mean 117,400. Okay, so what is the income tax? This is the income tax. If I use the joint tax assessment lah, taksiran cukai bersama. Okay, okay, that's all. That's the answer. So I already did until the step 3. Okay, but there's one more question. Yang PCB, right? It means we have to do the step 4. Okay, each month their salary was deducted by 650 and 500 respectively for the PCB. Okay, the way I teach my student, I always tell them if the soalan ada bagi PCB, you straight away times 12. Straight away times 12. Otherwise, you will forget it later, then it's bad. So what you have to do now, just darab 12. Because monthly tax deduction, PCB stands for potongan cukai bulanan. Monthly, bulanan. So cukai is always for 1 year. So you straight away times 12. But there's two PCB. Why? Because one is for, I guess maybe one is for husband, one is for wife lah. But since we use the joint tax assessment, so we can combine everything. So we can combine the husband and wife. So let's combine, and then after combine, then only I times 12. So 650 plus 500 will give you 1150 times 12 to get the total PCB. So the total PCB is how much? 138 13800. Okay, so this is the total PCB. Okay, and later we have to compare this value with the income tax. Okay, so they say, do they have to pay the balance of income tax? Explain your answer. Okay, usually student they are not very good at knowing it's lebih bayar or kurang bayar. Okay, yeah, because there's two cases. All right, so one case is when your tax is higher than the PCB. And then another case is when your tax is lower than your PCB. But student always forget which one is lebih bayar, which one is kurang bayar. Yeah, yeah. Student will say something like this. They will say like, sir, if this one the cukai more than the PCB is this lebih bayar or kurang bayar? Usually students struggle during that part. Okay, yeah. So you have to make sure you all know it lah. So I'll teach you how I remember it. This is how I tell my students. So you know that how you get the income tax. You minus with rebate, right? Yeah, so this is the value that you minus with rebate. So I want you to anggap the PCB macam rebate. You treat this like a rebate. It's like it's not rebate, but you anggap dia macam rebate. You anggap dia macam discount. Yeah, you anggap because it's called potongan cukai bulanan. So it's like potongan, it's like a discount also, right? So now you take your income tax, you minus with the discount. Now imagine if you minus the discount, you get negative answer. That means you lebih bayar lah. You faham? Because how come because imagine you go shopping mall, you want to buy something, but the discount is higher than the price. That means it's like you get negative already. The discount should not be higher than the income tax. If it's higher, it's lebih bayar lah. It means they will refund you the money. They will refund you. But if the discount is lesser, that means you kurang bayar lah. So as you can see, this one is what? Kurang bayar. Because if you take this value minus this value, you will get positive number, right? So let's find out how much is the insufficient payment. Okay, insufficient. Insufficient means the amount yang kurang lah. The insufficient payment. Okay, the insufficient payment will be 17400 minus 13800. So the amount yang I kena bayar lagi is 3,600. Okay, yeah. Okay, what if the income tax is lower than the PCB? That means it's excess payment already. It's not insufficient already, it's excess already. And the excess will be the PCB minus with the income tax because this one is higher, right? Itu kalau dia punya PCB is higher ataupun the tax is lower. Okay. Yeah, because the discount is higher than the price you have to pay, then obviously it means you lebih bayar already. Then the LHDN will refund you the extra amount, the excess. Okay, but this one is insufficient. So let's answer the question. Do they have to pay the balance of income tax? Explain your answer. So first you show them this working. Show them that it's insufficient, and then answer them by saying yes. Yeah, because it's insufficient, you kena bayar lagi ni. So yes, they have to pay how much? They have to pay RM 3,600 to IRB, or you can say LHDN. Okay, in English is IRB. IRB because PCB is lower than their income tax. In other words, the PCB, the discount is still lower than the income tax. So if it's lower means you kena bayar lagi lah. But imagine if the PCB is higher, the discount is higher, then no need to pay already. The discount lagi banyak tau. If the discount lagi lebih, then no need to pay already lah. Yeah, discount lebih already, no need to pay already. Okay, but the LHDN will refund to you. Okay. Okay, so hope you understand the whole concept of PCB. Okay. Yeah. All right, that's all. Okay, let's do 15. It is given that matrix M is 3x plus 2, 9 minus 2y. Okay, this is a 2 row, 2 column matrix. Yeah, 2 by 2. This one is also 2 by 2, 2 times 2 also. And then they says, given that M minus N equals to this, cari nilai X, Y, and Z. Okay, I think the X, Y, Z they are referring to is this X, this Y, and this Z. But how to find? Well, they got give you some information here. They said M minus N equals to this. So what I will do? I will do M minus N lah. And then compare my answer with the answer they give here. 1, negative 11, 2, negative 4. So here I'll write M minus N. So 3, just copy and paste. X plus 2, 9 minus 2y. And then this one is 2, 15, 5z plus x, 10. Okay. Okay, so let's find out what's the value of x, y, z. Alright, when you do addition or subtraction for matrix, you have to make sure the order of matrix is the same. Ya, bila you buat tambah tolak untuk matrix, you kena make sure dia punya number of row, number of column kena exactly same. Dia tak boleh 2 row 2 column minus 2 row 1 column. Cannot. It has to be exactly same. That's why you see this one is 2 row 2 column, this one also 2 row 2 column, this one also 2 row 2 column. Okay. So now how to minus? Okay. If you take the atas kiri punya number, you have to tolak atas kiri punya number, dapat atas kiri punya number. So 3 minus 2 equals 1. What if you take atas kanan? Then you have to tolak dengan atas kanan and you will get atas kanan also. So you have your first equation already. X plus 2 minus 15 equals to negative 11. And you can get your x from here. Okay, but I'll find it later. And then how to find my y? Okay, let's say I take bawah kiri, which is 9. So you have to minus with bawah kiri and my answer will come out bawah kiri also. So 9 minus 5z plus x equals to 2. But it's wrong. It's wrong if you write like that. You have to put bracket. 9 minus bracket 5z plus x equals 2. Because if you don't put bracket, then you thought this one is plus x, but actually it's minus. Because when you open the bracket, it becomes 5z minus x equals 2. Right? And I can find my z from here. But first I need to get my x first lah. Then ganti masuk here, right? Okay. Okay, last one is to find y. So the last one left is the bawah kanan. Tolak bawah kanan, dapat bawah kanan. So it'll be negative 2y minus 10. Okay, this one tak ada bracket can also because it's just one term, right? So no need. Just now there's two terms. That's why I have to put bracket lah. And then equals to negative 4. Okay, now I can find my x, y, z. Alright, how to find x? Okay, 2 minus 15 boleh buat. Dapat negative 13 equals negative 11. And then negative 13 hantar jadi plus. So you get 2. This one, dia akan jadi 9 minus 5z minus x equals to 2. Okay, x tadi tak tahu, tapi sekarang sudah tahu sebab sudah cari. So 2 sini. And then 9 minus 2 is 7 minus 5z equals to 2. But I'm trying to find z, right? So pindah the 7. Plus 7 jadi minus 7. 2 minus 7 is negative 5. And then negative 5 divided negative 5 is positive 1. Last one, how to find y? Negative 2y, negative 10 hantar jadi plus 10. Negative 4 plus 10 is 6. So y sama dengan 6 divided with negative 2 is negative 3. So this is your x answer. This is your z answer. This is your y answer. So sudah siap 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's all. Soalan B, let's go. Table 12 shows the number of student desk and chairs supplied by two schools in the Kota Baru district. So school A dia kena ada supply 50 meja, 60 kerusi. School B 30 meja, 45 kerusi. Okay, boleh faham. So nothing important here, so I'll just skip here. Okay, the total price allocation. Okay, I always tell my student when you see allocation means what? It means that's the maximum amount, the highest limit. Okay, the highest limit. So the total price allocation for the highest limit for the desk and chair for school A is 10850. Okay. And then school B receive an allocation 3575 less compared to school A. So let's try to find straight away lah. What's the allocation for B? So for B would be how much? 10850 minus 3575. So what you get? So let me press my calculator. So I got 7275. Okay. Yeah, because they say school B received 3575 less compared to A. So I just take 10850 minus 3575, I get 7275. Okay, now they says using the matrix method. Okay, confirm this is simultaneous equation. Yeah, whenever you see this word using matrix method, or maybe without using matrix method, doesn't matter whether it's using matrix method or without using matrix method, you will do simultaneous linear equation. Okay, so using matrix method, calculate the price of one student desk and one student chair. Okay, if they say use matrix method, we use matrix method. But if they say don't use matrix method, then we will use the substitution or elimination method, right? Uh, those are the two methods you learned to solve simultaneous linear equation. Okay. Okay, so now I will start. First thing first, we need to make sure we get our two equation first. And usually it's very difficult to write the equation when you don't know what the xy represents. Sometimes the question will tell you what the xy represents, but this question they never tell us what the xy represents. That's why I always teach my student, don't try to write the equation first. You try to read the last baris and see what they want to calculate, see what they want to find, and make that the xy. So again, what's the tips? You straight away read the last question. I mean the last baris, and see what they would tengok apa dia mau cari. Apa yang dia suruh cari itulah you punya xy. Okay, so calculate the price of one student desk and one student chair. So that would be the x and that would be the y. Okay, but try to be specific. Yeah, try to be specific here. Don't just write x equals desk, y equals chair. Tamam macam tu. Let specific. So let x equals, be more specific, is the price of one only, one desk. Yeah, it has to be specific. And then y will be price of one chair. Price of one chair. So now you know already your xy is in RM because they are both price. That means the xy is the price. It's not the bilangan kerusi or bilangan meja. No, it's the price for one. Okay. So how to get the total price for school A? 50 desk, 60 chair. So 50 have to times x lah. Because one desk is RM x ringgit. So it will, if 50 desk, it will be 50 times x. And then 60 chair, 60 times y. That's how you get the total price for school A. And I remember the school A allocation amount is 10850. So equals to 10850. Now, for the next one, it will be the school B. So what is this? 30x plus 45y. And then the allocation for school B is 7275. Okay. Okay, now I'm done writing the two equation. Now it's time to solve it. Okay, when you solve it, they already said using matrix method, right? So definitely cannot use substitution or elimination. Penggantian penghapusan cara tak boleh guna. So what we have to do now is change the whole thing to matrix form. Yeah, we have to change to matrix form. So the way to do that, okay, we will first open a big bracket here. This bracket will have 2 row, 2 column. This one is 2 row, 1 column. This one is 2 row, 1 column. And for the first bracket, you have to write down the coefficient ataupun dia punya perkali. Okay, it means you write down the number before xy lah. So it'll be 50, 60, 30, 45, right? But of course, you have to make sure the two equation is arranged nicely lah. It has to be xy on the left side and then number on the right side. If it's not arranged nicely, then you arrange it like this first. Then only you write the numbers here. Okay, the next bracket, you have to write the xy. Okay, yeah, the first unknown is x, so that one tulis atas. And then the next one tulis bawah. And then the last bracket, that will be the answer 10850 and 7275. Okay, now how to find xy? Okay, this matrix and this matrix, there's nothing in between them. That means they are times. Okay, it's darab. So darab hantar jadi bahagi, right? Tapi dalam dunia matrix tak ada bahagi. We don't call it divide, we call it inverse. So the whole thing here move there, it will become 50, 60, 30, 45 punya inverse. That's why I have to root -1. And then this is 108507275. So now the next step is to do the inverse for this matrix. Okay, you in your syllabus, you only learn how to do inverse matrix for 2 row, 2 column, right? So yeah, this is 2 row, 2 column. Okay, how to find inverse? 1 over the formula is you have to take 1 over AD minus BC. It means you have to take this number times this number. So 50 times 45 minus with 30 times 60, like that. Okay. And this whole number later we have to press lah. Okay. And there's a name for this. We call this the determinant. Yeah, determinant. And the determinant cannot equal 0. Because if it equals 0, then math error already. Because you can't divide by 0, right? Okay. So after you take 1 over 50 times 45 minus 30 times 60, now you have to take what? Okay, just now you take 50 times 45 dulu. So this pair of numbers you have to tukar tempat. You have to switch place. So it becomes 45, 50. Yeah, that's the formula. And then the next pair, 30, 60, that one you have to tukar tanda. Tukar tanda means change the sign. 60 become negative 60, 30 become negative 30. Right? And don't forget there is one more matrix here, 108507275. Right? Okay, now continue here. Okay, let's try to calculate what's our determinant. 50 times 45 minus 30 times 60 is 450. Right? And then these two matrices I can multiply them. So this is a 2 row 2 column matrix, this is a 2 row 1 column, and then when you multiply this number and this number have to be same. If it's not same, then we cannot multiply them together. So you left with 2 times 1. That means after you multiply, you will end up with 2 row 1 column, one number atas, one number bawah. And the way to darab is you have to take first row times first column, write it here, and then second row times this column, write it here. Okay. Okay, so let's try to do it. So when you take this row times this column, it will be what? 45 kena darab dengan 10850, and then negative 60 darab dengan 7275, like that. Okay. Okay, and then for the next one will be there's only one column, right? So now we can move on to the second row lah, but still that one column. So it becomes negative 30 times with 10850, but siapa darab 7275? 50. So 50 times 7275. If there's nothing here, it means plus lah. Okay, so this is how you do it. Okay, so the XY I tulis here. So XY I tulis here, and then this is 1 over 450. Okay, now I tekan all this. Tekan everything in my calculator. 45 times 10850 minus 60 times 7275. Okay, I got 51750. And then the next one, negative 30 times 10850 plus 50 times 7275. Okay, I got 38250. Now the last step, I have to take both these numbers, divide by 450. Actually, it's times 1 divide 450 lah, but times 1 nothing happens, right? So just divide 450. So you get 115 and you get 85. Okay, please don't stop here because the XY represents price of one desk and price of one chair. And the soalan also say calculate price of one desk, one chair. So if you stop here, yeah, you will not get full mark. So you have to write one more baris. Okay, so we already know X is 115, Y is 85, right? But what is X? Price of one desk. So price, right like this, price of one desk equals 115, but I have to write RM lah because it's price. And then write one more, price of one chair is RM 85. Okay. You write like that, then only you get full mark. Okay, so this is the answer. All right, that's all. Okay, let's continue. 16. So this one is section C, right? Yeah, I don't know why they never write it here. They should write section C here, right? Okay, whatever. Okay, let's do it. 16. Oh my God, how to pronounce this? My AI company lah. Okay, whatever. AI company is developing an artificial intelligence system to assist business in financial and customer management. Okay, I still don't know which chapter is this. So let's keep reading. A customer of uh big AI company chooses a package offered with a subscription price of 120 per month, total bill payable including service tax. Okay, I know the tax ma. So it's from 5 chapter 4. And I think it's under service tax. Okay, it's under service tax. Okay, so number one, state the party responsible for collecting service tax. Okay, JKDM. Yeah, for service tax is JKDM. I remember asking my students to hafal all the authority for all the different tax. Like for Cukai Pintu is Majlis Daerah or District Council in English. Or and then quit rent Cukai Tanah is the Pejabat Tanah, State Land Office. And then for service tax is the JKDM lah. Okay, so how to write? Don't write JKDM, write the full. So Jabatan Custom Diraja Malaysia. Okay. Okay, you can write in English also. In English, it's not called JKDM. In English, it's called RMCD, Royal Malaysian Customs Department. Okay. So service tax, pihak yang bertanggungjawab, the authority is JKDM in Malay or RMCD in English. Okay. So make sure you know that. Okay, number two, calculate the service tax rate charged. So service tax rate is always in percent and they are asking you to find the percentage. Okay. All right. How do you find percentage change? Well, there's a formula. There's a formula. Yeah, I remember making one video where I show my face and I upload this on my YouTube like around 1 year ago, I guess. So I upload this and I explain about how to find percentage change. The formula is you take the new price minus the original price, or you can say the old price, divide with the original times 100. That's how you find the percentage change. Okay. New value minus the original value or the old value, divide already times 100. Okay. And if you look from here, they already give you the subscription price is 120 per month, but the total bill is 127.20. So why is it that the total bill is much more expensive compared to the subscription? Because there's service tax. Okay. So the amount she has to pay is 120 ringgit. But why the total bill ends up being 127.20 is because there's service tax charged. And the amount is 7 ringgit 20 cents. Because you take 127.2 minus 120, right? So when you take new minus ori, you are taking 127.2 minus 120. Okay, divide with the original price, which is 120 times 100. And you already know atas here you get 7.2. So 7.2 times 120 times 100. Okay, the one original is 120. Bawah kena masuk 120 lah because that's the original. Okay? The original price before the service tax. Okay? Okay, now press this and you should get the answer from here. Okay, my calculator give me 6. So automatic, that's the answer lah, 6%. Okay, that's all. Sudah siap. Okay, B will be a different chapter already because for section C punya soalan memang macam ni. Yeah, for the paper 2, question 16 and 17, you'll be worth 15 marks, one question, and they will mix different chapter in one question. So just now the question A is the cukai, but B will be differently. So I don't know which chapter yet. I need to read. Table 13 shows the service package offered by my Tick AI company to their customer. So the package subscription price per month, basic package is 15 ringgit 1 month. Professional package 120 ringgit. Okay, so far so good. The total number of customer for both package are 500. So this one is the total number of customer. And then the total subscription revenue is 39,000. By using substitution and elimination method. Okay, I know already which chapter. Substitution and elimination. So this one is definitely simultaneous equation. And you learn this in Form 1. Yeah, you learn this in Form 1. Because in Form 1, you already learn how to do the substitution elimination. Okay. In Form 5, you learn using the matrix method. Okay. Okay, so this question is very similar to which question? To the question number, this one. Yeah, the 15B. But 15B, they asked to use matrix method, right? So this one I do it just now already lah. Okay, but now they ask for substitution elimination. So same like just now lah. My tips would be the same. So calculate number of customer for the basic package and the number of customer for professional package. I just told you just now, right? What's the tips I gave you? Do not write the equation first. That's what I said, right? When I do the 15B just now, I also say the same thing. Do not write the equation first. Because if you don't know what your XY represents, it will be very difficult to write your equation. So first step is to let X equals something, Y equals something to do. And I give you a tips just now. I said, look at what they want you to find. Look at what's apa yang dia suruh cari. So look at the last baris. Calculate number of customer for basic, number of customer for professional. So that is your XY lah. Make that the XY. And then later you cari XY. Okay, so try to be specific. Don't just write X equals basic, Y equals professional. No. Right? Be very specific. So it's the number of customers. Okay. Customers for the basic package. And then Y would be the number of customers for the professional package. Okay. Now you know what your XY represents. So now you can write your equation easily. So they say the total number of customer is 500, right? X plus Y equals 500. Because X and Y already represents the number of customer. So the total number of customer will be X plus Y equals 500. That's your first equation. Next equation, says total subscription is 39,000. Okay, 39,000 is in RM. So you don't go and write X plus Y 39,000. No, wrong. 39,000 is RM. So you have to convert to RM first. How to convert? Okay, X is the number of customer. So they already said for basic package, the subscription price is 50 ringgit for 1 month. Now imagine if you have 3 customer that buy this package, then the total price you get is 3 times 50 lah. If it's 7 people buy, then 7 times 50. But now there's X customer. So X times 50 will be 50X. So the total price will be RM 50X plus with Y times with RM 120 will be 120Y. And then the total price will be 39,000. The total revenue. Okay? Okay, now we are done. Now we can use the substitution or elimination method to solve this. Okay. All right. So how do you do it? Okay, the soalan says substitution and elimination. What is meaning of and? It means they want to use both. Uh, okay, actually, if you ask me, I would like between substitution and elimination, actually substitution easier because you can just find X single, the Y pindah jadi X equals 500 minus Y, and then just sub this inside the thing, and then just find Y, and then after find Y, just ganti cari X. That's the easiest way, right? But the question here, they says what? Using substitution and elimination method. So does that mean they want you to use both? If they want you to use both, then I cannot do macam tadi already. I cannot do like that already. Okay, let me tell you from experience, usually they will say by using substitution and slash or. Yeah, usually they will mention this. It means like you can use both substitution elimination or just choose one. Okay, usually that's how they ask. But since they ask like that for this question, so I will just make sure I use both the substitution and elimination lah. So I think I need to make sure I use the elimination method also. So how? Okay, if you want to use elimination method, you have to make sure the number before X has to be the same. If you want to eliminate X lah. If you want to hapus X, then make sure the number before X same. If you want to hapus Y, then make sure the number before Y same lah. Okay, let's say I want to hapus X, so the number is not same, right? So I will take this one times 50, everything times 50. So you get 50X plus 50Y, and then 50 times 500 will be 25,000. Okay. And kenapa saya buat macam tu? Okay, the reason I do this is because I want the number before X to be same, because later I want to eliminate. So the bawah punya equation, I just write it like this. Okay, now how to hapus X? You can just minus, take this equation minus this equation. So 50X minus 50X will be 0. So now the X is gone. So now you can find Y. 50 minus 120 is negative 70Y. And then this one you press 25,000 minus 39,000. Okay, negative 14,000. So your Y will be negative 14,000 divided negative 70, which is positive 2, and then 0, 0, so 200. Okay. Okay, how to find X? Just substitute. Y equals 200. Substitute back to the equation, first equation. X plus Y equals 500, and then X is 200, Y is 200. So 500 minus 200 is 300. Okay. So that's your answer lah. That's the answer. Okay, just now I mentioned there's another method, right? Which is like you do substitution. All the way you do substitution. You find X single here and then ganti masuk. But I follow what the question says lah. So the question says substitution and elimination. So I use elimination method first, and then I substitute to get back the X. Okay. But usually in the soalan they will say substitution and slash or elimination. It means like you can use either one or both also can, like that. Okay. Yeah. Okay, but that's not important lah. Just make sure you use the correct method, then can already. Okay, so what is the XY represents? Don't write like that for the final answer. X 300. No, no, no. Don't write that. Because if you read what the question asks for, number of customer for basic package. So you should write like this. Number of customer for basic package. Yeah, you should write like this to get full marks. Okay. Package. And I remember my basic package number is X. So 300. Okay, this one no unit lah, tak ada unit, because number of customer tak ada unit. And then comma, number of customers for professional package will be the Y, which is 200. Okay, so you should write like this to get full marks. Okay, that's all. Okay, soalan C. Let's read and see which chapter. My TIC AI company has rented a data center to operate their artificial intelligence systems. Diagram 9 shows the floor plan of the data center building which is in the shape of rectangle ABCD. Okay, it means they want to rent a data center. So this is the data center. So to operate the AI system lah. So diagram 9 shows the floor plan. So this is the floor plan of the data center building which is in the shape of rectangle ABCD. So this is rectangle. So 2x plus 4 meter. So that means here also 2x plus 4. Here also x plus 5. And it's in meters. Okay, what else? An isosceles triangle. Isosceles triangle means both these two sides will be sama panjang. Okay, and when you cut the isosceles in half, you will get a 90-degree, and you will get two right angle triangle. Okay, yeah. Okay, and then EFG is designated as the customer interactive space. Wait, where is it? EFG, oh, the triangle lah, is used as the customer interactive space. So I'll just write CI, short form, CI. What is CI? Customer interactive space. So the customer, they interact here lah. All the customer interact here. And the shaded area represents the sitting area for customer. So the shaded region, this one is the sitting area. So I'll just write short form SA. SA is sitting area. So all the customers sit here, and if they want to interact, they interact in this triangle. Okay. Okay, now what? Given that the point E is the midpoint of length AB. Whoa. So E is the midpoint of AB, but the AB will be same with the DC. So I can just take 2x plus 4, divide 2, 2x plus 4, divide 2 to get the get AE, because E is the midpoint. So when you divide 2, 2x divide 2, you get x plus 2. Okay. This one also same. You get x plus 2 also. Okay, so far okay. Now what? AE equals EB equals GF. So AE equals EB equals GF. Oh, so GF, the length here is also x plus 2 also. Okay, let me erase the... Okay, so this one is also x plus 2. Okay, and then this is the sitting area. Shaded region is sitting area. Okay, the length of EH is 8 meter. Where is it? EH. Oh, the isosceles triangle height, vertical height, is 8 meter. And then BC is x plus 5. Okay, I know that already. CD 2x plus 4. Okay, itu sudah tahu. So everything looks okay. Now let's see what they want. Express the area of customer sitting space, L meter square in terms of x. So they want you to use L to represent the customer sitting area, which is the shaded region. Yeah. So L represents the area of shaded region, but they want you to write L in terms of x. So we just basically finding the area of shaded region. So to find the area of shaded region, you have to take area of rectangle minus the area of triangle. Yeah. So how to find area of rectangle? 2x plus 5 times x. Oh my god. 2x plus 4. Okay. Yeah, because if you find rectangle area, you take the panjang darab lebar, the base times height. So times with x plus 5. But of course, you have to minus with what? Minus with the area of triangle. Okay, the triangle, I can use 1 over 2 times base times height formula because I already have the base and the height. But the height, don't take the slanted height, take the vertical perpendicular height. So the base will be x plus 2. Yeah, that's the base. And then for the height, take the perpendicular height, perpendicular distance from the top to the base. So it will be 8 lah. And everything is in meter. So later it will come out in meter also. Okay. Okay, so this one I expand, I get 2x times x will be 2x squared. 2x times 5 will be 10x. 4 times x is 4x. 4 times 5 is 20. Okay, this is how you expand. Okay, 1 over 2 times x plus 2 plus times 8. Okay, I will take 1 over 2 times 8 first. So 8 divided 2 is 4, and then 4 expand inside, you get minus 4x, and then 4 times 2 is 8, but there's a negative here, so it becomes minus 8. Yeah, because negative positive become negative. Okay. All right, now you write in general form. 2x squared. Okay, the next thing you write is x. So, okay, 4x minus 4x is 0 already. So just left with plus 10x. And then 20 minus 8 will be positive 12. And since this one is in meter, so I'll just put bracket and write meter square. Yeah. So that's the area lah, in terms of x. Okay, that's all. All right, question 2. If the area of customer interactive space is 48, calculate the area of the customer sitting area. Okay, customer interactive space area 48. Where? So where is the customer interactive? This one, right? The CI. So the area here is 48 meters square, the triangle. The triangle. Now they say calculate area of customer sitting area. It means they want to find this lah. Customer sitting area, the SA, right? The shaded region. Okay. Okay, I want to ask you all. Can I take this equals to 48? Yes or no? The answer is no. Why no? Because this is the area of sitting area. 48 is the area of customer interactive. Okay, customer interactive space. That's why they are not the same, right? But we can say this one plus this one equals to the area of rectangle, because this is the area of shaded region, and then 48 is the triangle. So if you plus these two, it will be the area of rectangle lah. Okay. Okay, but what they want, I forgot already what they want. Area of customer sitting area. It means they want the area of shaded region lah. Yeah, it means they want this. But first you need to get your x first. Okay. Yeah, you kena cari x dulu. You need to get your x and then sub here, then you get your area of sitting area already. Okay. Yeah, this is the answer. But first we need to find x, and I think we can find x by using this information, the 48 meter square. Okay, 48 meter square is the area of triangle. So we can say 1/2 times base times height, or you want to tengok sini pun boleh, 1/2 times x plus 2 times 8 equals to 48. Right? And the unit also ngam already, because the 48 is meter square, and then everything here is in meter also. Okay, so I will do 8 divide 2 first, which is 4. So it becomes 4x plus 8 equals 48. So I can find x from here. After finding x, I sub inside here to get the area of shaded region, which is the area of customer sitting area. Then finish already lah. Okay, how to find x? 4x equals 8, go there, become minus 48 minus 8 is 40. X equals 40 divided 4, 10 meters. Now, after getting x, now I can find my area of customer sitting space, which is the L. So it becomes 2x squared plus 10x plus 12. And then the x ganti 10, 10. Now just press this whole thing and you get 312. And the unit is in meter square. Okay, let's double check and see what the question wants. Area of customer sitting area. So the SA, yeah lah, the shaded region. Yeah, that's the answer. Okay, okay, that's all. Okay, soalan D. So let's see what chapter is this. My TIC AI company plans to invest part of profit in AI project with a target return on investment. Okay, I see the word return on investment, ROI. So this ROI, I know already which chapter is, Form 3, Chapter 3. Yeah, the consumer mathematics chapter, and you learn this in Form 3. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about the ROI formula, because definitely we'll be using this formula later. So the ROI formula is total return divide with the initial investment times with 100. Okay, total return means the profit. Yeah, the profit. So like how much return money you get after spending. After you spend, how many you dapat balik. That's the total return. Okay. What about initial investment? Initial investment means the amount you spend at first. The amount you spend to buy something at first. That's called initial investment. Okay. And then times 100 to get the ROI. So your ROI answer will always come out in percent. Okay. Yeah, that's why you times 100 lah. Okay. Okay, so now let's continue reading. What else? They invested 500,000. Oh, so the target has to be ROI more than 60%. So the company, they have a target. The target is they want the ROI to be more than 60%. Okay, and then they invested 500,000 in AI project by purchasing shares price at 1.25 per unit. So at the end of the year, the company declared a dividend of 20 cents per unit. So dividend is like a return also, it's like a profit. And then in the following year, TIC AI company sold all its shares when the share increased to 1.75 per unit. Calculate the ROI for the company and was the target achieved. Okay, so I think I know already. I first need to calculate my ROI and then check whether my ROI is more than 60%. If it's more than 60%, then we say the target is achieved. If it's less than 60%, then it's not achieved lah. So now I can start with my ROI. But first, I need to calculate my total return first. Okay. Okay, the initial investment, I know already. It will definitely be 500,000. Yeah, because that's the initial, they invested 500,000 at first, right? So the initial will be 500,000 times 100. My job now is to get my total return and then write it up here. Okay, but how to find total return? Okay, I will use the space here to explain. So remember, they invest. Invest means chase. It's like buy lah. You buy. You buy. So you spend 500,000 to buy what? Buy the shares price at 1 ringgit 25 per unit. Per unit. So first we can find out how many unit he buy first. Yeah, we need to know how many unit they buy. Then only I can times with 20%, 20 cents to get the total dividend. Understand? So first we need to find out the number of units. So number of units purchased, or you can say number of units of shares purchased. Right? So they spend 500,000 to buy, but the cost is 1 ringgit 25 cents per unit. So you divide with 1.25 and you get 400,000. That means they buy 400,000 units. Okay. Yeah, they buy 400,000 unit. And then there's a dividend of 20 cents per unit. So you can get your dividend earn. Your dividend earn will be 20 cents for 1 unit, but there's 400,000 units. So you multiply with 400,000 to get the total dividend received, and you should get 0.2 times how much? 400,000. So you get 80,000. So this is a will be a like a return. Yeah, it will be a return, or you can say a profit. And then what else? The following year sold all its shares when the share increased to 1 ringgit 75 per unit. So the company end up selling it for 1 ringgit 75 per unit, which is higher than the price when they buy it. They buy is 1 ringgit 25 per unit, but when they sold is 1 ringgit 75. So there is a profit there, right? Yeah, there's a profit there, because the profit formula is take the selling price minus the buying price. Okay, the selling price will be what? 1 ringgit 75 per unit. So 1 ringgit 75 times with, that's 400,000 unit. So that's the selling price lah. But when you buy, it's only 1.25 times 400 times 400,000. Like that. Okay. But you already know lah, this one will be 500,000. Yeah, because yeah, this one times with the number of units 500,000 lah. Okay. So now we just have to press this one times this one, tolak this one lah. Okay. 1.75 times 400,000, that's the amount they sell. So it's 700,000, but you minus with the amount you spend to buy at first, so you get 200,000 profit. Okay. Okay, so now with all this calculation, now we can find out our total return. So the total return will be what? Okay, this one don't pass. This is just the number of units. So definitely the dividend 80,000, and also the profit from selling the shares. So the profit from selling the shares is 200,000. Okay, 200,000. But of course you have to plus with the dividend 80,000, and then divide with the dividend. I mean divide with the initial investment, the amount you spend to buy first, and then times 100. Okay, so now it's time to press 280,000 divide 500,000 times 100. Okay, my calculator give me 56. And this one you have to write in percent, because automatic ROI answer will come out in percent. Okay. Okay, now we can answer the question. Calculate the ROI. Okay, Surah buat. So was the target achieved? Okay, the target is what they want the ROI target to be more than 60%. So you can see that it's less than 60%, right? 56% is clearly less than 60%. So we can say is what? We can say the target is not achieved. Yeah, because the target is 60% and you only get the return ROI of 56%. So it's not achieved. Okay, that's all. Sudah siap? Okay, now we are at the last question, number 17. Sarah runs a small business selling separate cookies and tart cookies during the festive season. Soalan A, Sarah used 690 kilowatt. Okay, I see this unit, I know already. This is the infamous question from 5 chapter 4, and it's under service tax. Okay. Okay, why I put a star here is because this is a very rare question, and usually when it comes out, most students don't know how to do this. And I call this the electricity bill question. Yeah, it's under service tax, and I call this the electricity bill question. Usually students don't know how to butcher the table. Okay. Okay, let me open the Penang paper for you, because I remember the Penang paper also they asked about this. I'll show you. Okay, Penang. Okay, maybe it's up here. Service tax. Okay, wait for me. I'm looking for it now. Uh, okay, it's not here. It's not this one. No. Yeah, this is the one. You see, I also got my handwriting there. You see, I also write for 5 chapter 4, and I also put star here, right? And you can see that's my handwriting. Yeah, these are all the workings, right? So this is the question lah. So it comes out in the Penang paper and it comes out in the Kelantan paper now. So Eh? But usually this question comes very rare one lah. But I realized the first two trial paper I did, they got asked this. So you all need to make sure you all know how to calculate this lah. Okay, so if you want the full explanation for this question, the Penang paper, you can go watch it on my YouTube. It's already uploaded. Yeah, this video I uploaded it already. Okay, but let's come back to the Kelantan question now. Okay, so first thing first, you have to read the whole question and make sure we understand every detail first. Okay. Okay, so let's read. Sarah used 690 kilowatt hour of electricity during that month. So this is the amount she used, the electricity. It is given that the electricity usage exceeding 600 in a month will be subject to 6% service tax. Table 14 shows the average block and electricity tariff rate for that month. Okay, the way I teach my student is always jangan tengok ini. Just cross out this whole thing. Okay. Yeah, same like how I teach the Penang question. You see, I put the cross on the tariff block also. Yeah, do the same. Just look at the prorated block, or you can say average block. Sometimes they call it prorated block, but it's the same lah. Okay, so what is the average block? You have to. This is the block that you use lah. So look at this: 200, 100, 390. But they said usage exceeding 600 will be charged 6% service tax. So what is 200 plus 100? Here you get 300, and then 300 plus 300 will be 600. So this is the cutoff. Okay, anything beyond this will be charged a 6% service tax, because they say usage exceeding 600 will be subject to 6% service tax, and if you take the sum here, it's already 600. So this one, there will be a ST charged for this, the service tax. Okay, and then this table will be the rate, and actually you can calculate the amount from here. Okay, and how to calculate the amount is just take the rate multiply with the 200. Okay, so let's do that. 0.218 times 200. So let's press, you will get, okay, let's write in two decimal place because it's RM. So it's 43.60. Okay. Yeah, because, okay, let me show you the Penang question. So usually, okay, tengok. Tarif block, prorate block, rate, and the amount. And the amount datang dari mana? You just take the rate times with the prorated block. Just times you get here, times you get here, times you get here. Okay. That's why for this, the question one, find value of X, you just take 0.546 times with 150. Yeah, like that. Okay. Yeah. Okay, this question actually asks you to calculate the total electricity bill charged for that month. So yeah, you need all the amount here. Yeah, you need to find out all this amount, and then later when you find the total electricity bill, you just plus all this amount, but then have to plus lagi dengan the 6% service tax. Okay. Okay, let's finish this part first. 0.334 times 100, 33.40. This one don't need calculator. And then 0.516 times 300, 154.80. And then 0.546 times 90, 49.14. So that's the amount. Now to find the total electricity bill, if it will be 43.6 plus 33.4 plus 154.8 plus 49.14. But there's one more thing you have to plus, which is the service tax charged 6%. And the 6% will only charge on this amount. Yeah, on this amount, because this is the cutoff. Because the service tax only charged when the usage exceeding 600. So this is when it exceeds 600. So we have to times with the amount 49.14. That's how you do it. Okay. All right. Let me show you the Penang question one more time. The Penang actually asks a bit different. Number one, they say X. Number two, they say calculate total payment not subjected to service tax. Okay, that one is just the first three amount lah, because the cutoff is here. So only the paling bawah punya ini ada service tax. So the amount that is not subjected will be these three plus together. And if you can see from my working here, I did exactly that. And then number three, calculate service tax imposed. It means you take the 6%, multiply with the X, which is 81.9. So you see, I did that, right? And I remember when I did this Penang paper, in that video, I actually mentioned what if they ask for the total electricity bill. Yeah, I remember saying that. You can go watch it. You can go watch it. If you struggle with this, just go watch it again and you will understand it. I remember after I did the 1, 2, 3, I remember teaching about like what if they ask for the total electricity bill, and I even said you just add all this amount together and then plus with the 6% service tax. And now they ask in Kelantan like that already. Now they ask that in the Kelantan question already. So just take all the amount, add together, plus with the service tax like that. Right? Okay, you press all this, you get 283.89. Yeah, just use your calculator to help you lah. And make sure you write RM, because this one is the electricity bill for that 1 month. Okay. Okay, let me double check something. 49.14. Yeah, correct. That's the answer. Okay, soalan B. The price of per jar of separate cookie and tart cookie is 15.20. Haliza paid 1,000 ringgit for 50 jars of festive cookies and received 150 in change. Wait, what? She paid 1,000 ringgit but received 150 in change. So the price will be 1,000 minus 150 lah. So how much? 850. Yeah lah, because you pay 1,000 ringgit ma, and then she got a balance 150 in change. So the price is actually 850 lah. Okay. Okay, now they says without using. Okay, I know already. Hey, this is like the third simultaneous equation I see already in this set, right? Just now also we did already, right? Where is it? This one. By using substitution elimination method. And then there's one more up here. This one by using matrix method. And now another one. Oh my god. Berapa kali dia mau tanya? So this is like the third simultaneous equation question in this one paper already. But this time they say without using matrix method. It means you use the substitution or elimination method lah. You learn this in form 1. Okay, the substitution elimination. And then they say calculate number of jars of biscuit separate and the biscuit tart she bought. Okay, first step is to write down the two equation. And I already mentioned this the third time in this video already. Yeah, the tips will be the same. So what's the tips I gave you? If you all got watched my explanation for the simultaneous equation earlier, you know already, right? So I said don't write the equation because it's very hard to write the equation when you don't know what's your xy. So straight away read the last baris, see what they want to find, and make that the xy. So let's tengok apa dia mau cari for the final answer. They want the number of jar for biscuit separate and tart, right? Itulah you punya xy. So let x equals what? Number of jars of separate biscuit. And then y will be what? Try to be specific. Number of jars of biscuit tart. So I'll just write tart. Okay. Okay. So now we know the xy represents number of jars. Now we can read again the whole question, and then now it will be easy already to write the equation. So the price per jar is 15 ringgit, 20 ringgit. And then Haliza paid 1,000, and then she got change 850, but it's 50 jars. So x plus y will be 50 lah, because x plus y is the number of jars. And the total is 50, so x plus 50. And the second equation you will use to write the price. Okay, so the price is what? Okay, 15 ringgit for one jar separate, but you have x jars, so 15x plus 20 ringgit for one jar tart cookies, so total will be 20 times y, and the total price spent is 850. Yeah, because she paid 1,000 but get 150 for the change, for the balance, so 850. Okay, now done already. Now we can solve this. Okay, they already said cannot use the matrix method, so we have to use substitution or elimination lah. Okay, so it means substitution also can, elimination also can. That just, or you want to combine both also can. So what I will do? Okay, I'll do substitution method lah. So this is equation 1, this is equation 2, and how to do substitution? You can start from any equation you want and then make the x single or the y single. Cari x or cari y. Okay, I start from equation 1 better, because if I start from equation 2 later there will be fraction, right? Okay, I start from equation 1 and then I can find the y single. Nak cari x single pun boleh, sama saja. So 50 and then plus x hantar sana jadi minus x. Let's call this equation 3, and then I will substitute equation 3 into 1. Ganti 3 dalam into, sorry, into. You cannot sub 3 into 1 because 3 come from 1. You have to sub dekat orang lain, bukan sub sendiri. Dia tak boleh sub sendiri, kena sub orang lain. So sub 3 into 2. So now your equation 2 becomes 15x plus 20y, and then for the y I have to open bracket equals 850, and then y is 50 minus x. Okay, boleh kembang. 2 times 5 is 1,000, and then 20 times negative 20x, and then sini ada 15x tambah, sini ada 850. Okay, x dengan x boleh buat, number dengan number boleh buat. 15 minus 20 is negative 5x, 1,000 pindah jadi minus 850 minus 1,000 is negative 150. Lepas tu x, how to get x? Negative 150 divided negative 5 is positive 3. Sorry, positive 30. Yeah. Now you get your x, how to find your y? Ganti balik dalam equation 3 lah. So when x equals 30, you can ganti into equation 3. Y equals to 50 minus x. 50 minus 30 is 20. Okay, don't stop here. You will not get full mark if you just stop here. You have to check what the question says. Calculate number of jars of biscuit tart. So you should write what? Number of jars of biscuit separate. Yeah, biscuit separate. Of biscuit separate equals how many? Okay, wait, let me make space. Okay, so number of jars of biscuit separate equals, okay, you use X to write separate tadi, so your X is 30. And then number of jars of biscuit tart. Okay, the one is 20 lah, because the one is Y, right? For biscuit tart is Y. Okay, that's all. This is how you do it. Okay, soalan C. Sarah buys a rectangular aluminium tray to use as a mold for making tart biscuits. So this is a tray. Okay. Diagram 10 shows the inside surface of the tray. Okay, so you can see it's 2x plus 10 meters. Okay, 90 degree, 90 degree. Okay, and then panjang sini tak tahu lah. Okay, the length is 2x plus 10 cm. Okay, I think they made a mistake here. Because here they write m, but here they write cm. So I think this one should be in cm lah. Yeah, because it's tray mah. Tray, I think you measure using cm lah. Don't okay. So yeah, they made a careless mistake here. And then the width, which is the lebar, is 4 cm less than the length. So let's find out the width now. 2x plus 10 minus 4. So it becomes 2x plus 6. And it will be automatic in cm one. That's the width. Okay. Okay, now what they want. Given that the inside surface area of the tray is 480 cm square, form a quadratic equation in terms of x. Give your answer in the form of, okay, this is the general formula. Okay, so how to do it? So the information given is what? Total surface, inside surface area is 480. So area equals 480 cm square. That's the area of the tray. Form a quadratic equation in terms of x. All right, so let's scroll up. So how to get the area of this, the inside surface area? This is a rectangle, so just do base times height. And also the unit also is already ngam already, because this one is in cm square, this one is cm. So cm times cm is cm square. So base times height, 2x plus 10 times with 2x plus 6, because that's how you find area of rectangle. Okay, base times height. Or you can say base times width. Panjang darab lebar lah, just same thing lah. Okay, equals to 480. Okay, but they want to write in general form, so you should expand. So 2x times 2x, 4x squared. 2x times 6 gives you 12x. 10 times 2 gives us 20x. 10 times 6 is just 60. And we want it to be equal to 0 later because it's general form. So the 480 pindah jadi minus 480. Okay, the 4x squared I can write. X dengan X boleh buat jadi 32x. Number dengan number boleh buat. 60 minus 480 is negative 420. Okay, but I realized all these numbers can simplify. 432 and 420. Semua nombor ni can divide by 4. So divide 4x squared, divide 4 8x, divide 4 105. So yeah, there you have it. That's the answer. I don't think you have to solve for x because the soalan says give your answer in the general form. So this is already the answer. Okay. Jangan tak payah cari x. Okay, question 2. Hence calculate the width of the tray. Okay, the width, the lebar of the tray is 2x plus 6. But first you need to get your x first. Ya, you kena ada X. Lepas tu baru ganti dalam sini. And then do 2 times X plus 6. Then only you get the width. Okay. So I think I have to find my X. But how to find my X? Yeah, just continue from your last question punya answer lah. Yeah, you can find your X from here, right? Yeah. So just kosong satu baris. And then you will press calculator to factorize this. So your A, you press 1. B, you press 8. C, you press negative 105. Okay, to solve for X. So the answer in the calculator will give you 7 and negative 15. And then don't forget here you have to write bracket equals 0. Okay, the 7 you have to pindah balik jadi x minus 7. Negative 15 pindah balik jadi x plus 15. So it's like that. Okay. Can I reject? Can I reject one of the answer? Okay, let's try using 7. If I masuk 7, 2 times 7, 14. 14 plus 6, 20. It means the width is 20. But if I use negative 15, negative 15 times 2 is negative 30, plus 6 is negative 24. It means you are saying the width is negative 24 cm. Tak logic. Mana boleh panjang cm negative. So the negative 15, this have to reject lah. Yeah, because when you ganti masuk, the whole thing doesn't make sense already because the panjang, the lebar become negative. So the x is definitely 7. But that's not the answer. They ask for the width. So the width of the tray is what? 2x plus 6. Of course, the x you use 7 lah, because that's the only x answer that makes sense. So 2 times 7 is 14 plus 6 is 20. And don't forget to write the unit cm. Okay, I am done with this. All right, now we are on the last question, soalan D, right? Yeah, this is the last one. Okay, let's finish this. Okay, what chapter is this? I see shop, I see down payment, I see stamp duty, coefficient, ROI. Okay, this one is from 3 chapter 3. And it's also under ROI. Sama lah dengan soalan yang kita buat tadi. Just now also got the ROI question, right? This one. You remember? It's the 16D, right? So that's the ROI formula. So we will use this formula again. But it's, it's different from this question. This question, they ask about shares, right? They ask about shares and then find ROI. But this one is not about shares. This one is about selling the shop lot. Okay, yeah. So let's write down the ROI formula first because we will be using this later. Confirm. Okay, the ROI will come out in percentage, and the formula is the total return. Total return means the total profit, the total amount you earn. Okay, and then divide with initial investment. Initial investment means like how much you spend to buy it at first. Okay, and then times 100. Okay. Okay, now let's read the question. Sarah purchased a shop unit for 270,000 and paid 10% down payment of 27,000. So this is the down payment. And she already calculate for you the 10% is this. She aims to achieve a 35% return within 20 years. It's very similar, right, to the last ROI question. That one is also like that, right? She also got a target. Eh? Okay, now after 20 years, she sold the shop for 500,000. So definitely there's a return there. Because when she buy, it's 270,000, but when she sold it's 500,000, so there's a return there. But the return is not 500,000 minus 270,000. No, wrong. It's 500,000 minus 27,000 because this is the total price. So you will not take this. All right, she haven't spent all this yet. Okay, she only spent the down payment 27,000. That means you have to take this one minus this one. Okay, don't take this. So the return here is 500,000 minus 27,000. And then what else? Here are all the other expenses. So this one all have to minus lah, because these are all expenses. Stamp duty, commission, legal costs, monthly installment paid. Yeah, these are all the expenses. Okay. Now they says calculate her ROI. Did she achieve her goal 35% return? So I think I have to calculate my own ROI, and if my own ROI is more than 35%, so we say then we say she achieved her goal. But if my ROI answer is less than 35, then she didn't achieve her goal lah. Okay, so let's start finding the total return now. So I will write, where should I write it? Okay, I'll just do it here. So my ROI equals, okay, later I have to calculate my total return. And then here I have to times 100. Okay, the initial investment I know already. Yeah, that one is 270,000. Yeah, that's the 270,000. Okay, that's the initial investment I purchased, right? I purchased 270,000. Okay, but the total return, okay, this one you have to take 500,000 because that's the she's after 20 years she sold for 500,000, and then minus with what? Okay, there will be a lot lah. So I don't think it is enough space. So what I will do here instead, I will write equal here, but the ROI I will write up here. And then here I'll write up here. Okay, 500,000. That's the selling price, but minus with 27,000. The down payment. Because the down payment is the payment that you already paid already, right? And then don't minus the 270,000. That's the initial investment. And also this is the whole price of the shop. Okay, you should minus with the down payment. Don't minus with the total price, and then minus with all these expenses lah. Yeah, the monthly installment paid. This is for the shop lah, because after paying 10% down payment, the rest 90%, that's the installment. Okay, so 27,000 down payment, and then another 333,000 for the remaining balance. Okay, because you pay monthly installment, so they will charge you interest, all those things, right? So minus 300, the 333,000, and then minus all these also, minus 7,500, minus 4,000, minus 9,000. Okay, is there anything I left out? Okay, ini sudah. Yeah, everything got done already. So now I can just press my calculator, then I will get the answer here. Okay, let's calculate. Let's tekan. So wait for me. I'm pressing 500,000 minus 27,000 minus 333,000 minus 7,500 minus 4,000 minus 9,000. Okay, my calculator give me 1195,000. That's the return. But you have to divide with the initial investment of 270,000 times with 100. So now let's press answer, divide 270,000 times 100. Okay, my calculator give 44.259. Okay, let's write in four significant figure. So it's 44.26 and it will come out in percent. Yeah, ROI will automatically come in percent. So now let's answer the question. Did she achieve a goal of obtaining 35% return? The answer is yes. Okay, they never asked to write any reason, right? But I will write it anyway. So yes, she achieved her goal of obtaining 35% return. Actually, she got more than what she desired. She asked it, she her goal is 35%. Yeah, she got more, 44.26, right? So yeah, it's more than 35%. That is why we can say yes, she achieved her goal of obtaining 35% return. Okay. All right. So I'm done with this paper, right? Okay, kertas tamat. Alright, if you find my video useful, make sure you subscribe. And if you all want the early access to all my future trial videos, you can join my member. All the link is in the description. Alright. Okay, hope this video helped some of you up there. So that's all for this video. Alright, bye bye. I'll see you next video. Bye.